Back here on the Cougar Sports Network for game number 2 of today's doubleheader. I'm Kayla McLeod here on the Cougar Sports Network, joined by Eric Perry as a lead-off hit there from the Regents. Belota getting things going once again.
Yeah, Belota again with the leadoff hit for the Cougars, but they'll take a single instead of a solo home run that he had to start off game number 1.
Absolutely. So that's getting things going right away once again. As you mentioned it in game 1, Belota got things rolling for the Regents with a home run to start the game. So being able to hold him on base is at least an improvement here, but CUC looking to jumpstart things in other ways as well. As I mentioned, Dylan Ferraro on the bump for CUC and trying to control things here a little bit differently than game 1. Already with a runner on base. Ferraro looks to pick off. That ball's in the dirt. It's going to get past. That's going to give a free base to Belota. And he's going to take 2 on it, actually. A big-time base running IQ from the lead man for the Regents.
Yeah, Belota was heading to second, and his third base coach told him to keep going, so he didn't slow down a bit. He just picked up the pace and made it to third.
So now Ferraro operating with a runner on third rather than a runner on first. And the Cougars quickly putting one error up on the board. Not a favorable start here. As I mentioned, Dylan Ferraro leading things off for CUC. He's been a strong arm for the Cougars this season as well as last season. Ferraro this year, a 3.77 ERA. He's made 6 total appearances, 6 starts, 31 total innings pitched, and 17 strikeouts on the year. So a usually reliable guy for CUC as that ball is connected on and hit into left field. That's going to be a easy run scored for Belota and a stand-up single for Stagowski.
Just like in game number 1, the Regents strike first. Now the Cougars just hoping to try to minimize the damage here, get some outs quickly, so make it so that it will only end up being a 1-0 game going into the bottom of the first.
That's going to bring Bergstrom up to the plate for the Regents, and already Rockford striking first, putting a run up on the board. This is a similar spot to where things happened in game 1. The Regents able to take the early lead in the first inning, and CUC was just not able to combat that, never able to come back from that deficit. So not exactly what you're looking for here to start game 2, but a much different scenario here as the quick 2-0 count against Ferraro.
Yeah, you're only down 1-0 here. Ferraro can come back in this count here, then start getting his pitching back up to what it normally is. Then you can escape the inning, again, only trailing 1-0.
As Bergstrom swings through that one for strike number 1.
And Bergstrom's been a great hitter for the Regents coming into the day. He was the team leader in RBIs with 33 of them.
2-1 count here. Runner on first. Ferraro delivers this one. That's fouled off. Levels the count at 2 apiece.
Just like that, Ferraro's pitched it back from being a 2-0 count to now a 2-2 count.
Ferraro gets set here. The delivery swung on, popped up high. A troublesome area. Coming in and tracking it is Dorsch. That's going to drop in fair territory in front of Dorsch, Kasich, and Boswell. But they are going to get the out at second. So a big-time throw. Able to get that out. Stagowski holding because of that unknown. Didn't know if he was going to be caught or not. So unfortunately was just in a tough spot. But the throw is going to beat Stagowski over to second and secure the first out of the inning.
Bit of an unorthodox play, but the Cougars will take it. Got the lead run, got the out on the board. So now they have 1 out with a runner on.
As that first pitch misses for strike number 1. That one misses, makes this a leveled count.
Babis thought about going on that one, but pulled back at the last second when he realized it was going to be a little bit outside.
1-1 count here. This one misses low and in for ball 2.
Babis is another one of those big hitters for the Regents. Came into the day, 317 batting average, 26 hits. So he is good with his bat.
That one misses, makes this 3-1. This one catches in there for strike 2. The throw down is in time. A big time throw from Brandon Mahler. That's going to catch Bergstrom. Fabus thought that he had the 4-ball walk, but instead has to go collect his bat and put the second out on the board. Bergstrom caught stealing.
And that was just a perfect throw by Mahler. It was right on the money, right into the glove. And the runner just got tagged out to clear the bases.
As this one fouled off. Keeping his at-bat alive now. Ferraro working his way back into this inning. 3-2 count, 2 outs. This a slow chopper over to first. Kasic's able to collect it for out number 3, and that's going to do it for the inning. CUC able to control the Regents' damage, but that is going to allow the Regents to score first, leave CUC trailing 1-0, but we're going to head to the the bottom of the first with a much smaller gap than we saw in Game 1. And obviously, Eric, the Cougars not able to pull that Game 1 victory, but what do we need to see here in the beginning of this game to see that kind of shift a little bit differently?
Well, they need to strike early. In Game 1, I don't think they scored until the 4th or 5th inning, and by that point, they had a lot of ground to make up. They only have 1 run to make up here. If they can score 1 or 2 or 3 runs in the first few innings and just give themselves some good momentum and get the bats going and give themselves a good lead, that'll definitely help them as we get into the later chunk of the game.
Absolutely. Like you said, being able to just be consistent with it is going to be key. We saw such inconsistency in Game 1, and that was in part due to weather and in part just due to an off day, and sometimes that happens in the sport of baseball, but being able to remain consistent and find that groove early on is going to be key. And, looking at a similar lineup here for the Cougars, Tyler Dorsch leading things off, Michael Kasic batting second, Jake Mahler batting third, Tyler Crater fourth, Brandon Mahler sliding in 5th, Yashawn Boswell batting 6th, Brendan Holloway batting 7th, Xavier Zagerman batting 8th, and Eli Hickman now moving into the 9-batter spot. So we're seeing a lot of similar faces, but a little bit of a movement in that lineup, just trying to find the best use of each of these hitters, as everybody can be effective for CUC.
Yeah, the Cougars have a lot of really good bats. It's just a matter of figuring out which order works the best and which order is going to allow people to get on base and then allow them to be scored by the batters that follow.
And that is going to bring Tyler Dorsch up to the plate to lead things off for CUC. Dorsch, the top hitter for this Cougar squad, looking to get things going here. He takes strike 1. Looking around the field for the Regents. A similar lineup here as on the bump for Rockford, Alex Easton, Jr. from Rockford, Illinois. Meanwhile, fresh face behind the plate in at number 21, Preston Sewell, but keeping things pretty consistent across the field, going right to left, Bergstrom, Mace, Duke, and Bellata in the infield. And in the outfield, Burden, Stigowski, and now a new face in right field in number 10, Zach Fabus. We saw Fabus pitching in Game 1 for the Regents, obviously staying in as the DH and hitting here again in Game 2. So a lot of familiar faces for the Regents as well.
Yeah, and if you're the Regents coach, you got to be happy with what your team did in game when you were able to consistently score runs in most of the innings. And when you scored, they scored a lot of runs, and their defense was also very good at keeping the Cougars at bay.
Dorsch connects with that one, sends it foul, out of play. Bellotta was tracking that the whole way, but just couldn't change the fact that just went over the fence line and out of play. As Dorsch reaches for that one, connects on it. Bergstrom able to glove it for the out, bobbled it just a touch, but able to control it, and that's going to put Michael Kasich now at the plate for CUC.
Yeah, it was a hard-hit ball by Dorsch. Unfortunately for him, it just went straight to the first baseman, who, like I said, was able to just grab it and walk it to the bag himself for out number 1.
So Michael Kasich now at the plate, operating with 1 out. Kasich 2 for 3 at the plate in game 1. Saw 1 walk, but scored 3 runs. And now sits with the 1-0 count. That one catches the outside corner for strike number 1.
Kasich's another player that the Cougars are going to need to really step up here. Like you said, he had 2 hits in game 1. He needs to have hopefully another multi-hit game here today for the Cougars to hopefully win.
Kasich sending that one over. Bellotta able to glove it. The throw in time with ease for out number 2, and that's going to put Jake Mahler at the plate. So
a pair of ground balls to the opposite sides of the infield. Both result in ground outs, so now Mahler's just hoping that he can start a 2-out rally for the Cougs and get on base.
Jake Mahler, another top hitter for CUC. He went 2 for 3 in game 1, 1 run of his own, and he takes strike number 1 to start his at-bat here. As that one off the handle, it's going foul, but coming over and tracking it right in front of the Cougar dugout is Bergstrom for out number 3. So a quick 3-up, 3-down inning for the Cougars, and that's going to put Dylan Ferraro back out on the mound for CUC. And we're going to take a quick break while he does so, but we'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jake. Thank you so much for tuning into today's broadcast. If you want to learn more about CUC baseball, head to cucougars.com.
We hope to see you at our next game.
Go Cougars.
Go.
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Top of the second, CUC trails 1-0. Dylan Ferraro still dishing on the bump for the Cougars. And Nate Burden at the plate for the Regents. Burden 2 for 5 at the plate in game 1, but collected 5 RBIs in that process. Now sits with the 1-1 count. Burden, 1 of 4 Regents with home runs in game number 1. Burden responsible for the grand slam that came in the top of the 9th that really pushed the Regents out of reach of the Cougars. So his bat has already been hot today and continues as he sends a rocket in towards the Cougar dugout.
Yeah, that grand slam in the top of the 9th was kind of the knockout punch for the Cougs, so he's hoping to keep his momentum going and get another big hit here in the top of the 2nd.
As that ball misses outside, levels this count at 2 apiece. Ferraro already 15 pitches thrown on the day. He sends this one just outside for ball 3. Full count here. Ferraro sends this one up and in for ball 4. And that's going to put a runner on for Blaze Mace.
Ferraro struggled a little bit with his control throughout this season. He has 12 walks. That makes 13. So he's just hoping that now he can kind of get it back under him and get Mace out efficiently.
Mays 3 for 5 at the plate in game 1, collected 1 RBI, but also 1 strikeout on the day as that one misses low and in for ball 1.
Mays really thought about going on that one, but pulled his bat back at the last second.
CUC still trails by 1 here. Continues the trend that the Regents have held the lead all day as that ball's popped up into shallow infield. Coming in and underneath it is Dorsch, looking to get the double play after Burden took off for the stolen base but can't quite get there in time. So that's going to result in 1 out for the Cougars. Burden is safely back at first, and that's going to bring Preston Sewell up to the plate.
Yeah, Burden was about halfway to second and realized that he needed to turn around when that ball essentially went straight up, and he was just able to beat the throw from Dorsch back to first.
This ball misses up and in for ball number 1. Wind starting to pick up once again here in River Forest as Ferraro checks on Burden over at first. We saw the weather play an important factor in game 1 today. The wind picking up and dying at various moments. It made it really difficult for the outfielders, not just on the sense of a lot of home runs from Rockford, but the CUC outfielders really had some difficulty because when the wind would pick up, it would carry those balls to the fence or over the fence, and when the wind would die, those balls would be dropping in shallow outfield. So the Cougar outfielders just really had a lot of ground to cover in game 1, and already seeing that wind pick up and die here in game 2, it's going to continue to be an extra challenge for the outfielders here.
Yeah, the weather kept everyone on their toes with the way, like you said, the wind would start and then stop and then start and then stop, so it just made him really have to run around.
As we're seeing 15-mile-an-hour winds here in River Forest, gusts up to 27 miles an hour, so not something that is going to be going away anytime soon throughout this game as the Cougars just continue to battle through, and Ferraro sends a pitch straight down the middle there, levels this count at 2 apiece.
And similar with the weather, you have the sun coming out and then going away and then coming out and then going away, so that affects how the fielder's visibility and how they're able to play the ball in the air.
2-2 count here. Ferraro delivers this one. That's swung on, fouled off by Sewell. Keeps his at-bat alive, keeps the count at 2s.
Ferraro just looking to get one more strike, make it 2 outs.
This ball hit high and into the outfield. Coming in and tracking it is Hickman. Burden going to hold at first once again, and that's going to put 2 outs on the board, and Kobe Cooper now at the plate for the Regents.
Yeah, the Regents got the first batter of the inning on, but since then it's just been 2 straight flyouts, and now Ferraro just needs 1 more to send us to the bottom of the 2nd.
Kobe Cooper hitting .410 on the season. He's got 16 hits and 8 RBIs as he connects and sends that one foul on the first pitch he sees, makes it an 0-1 count.
That swing had some power behind it. You could tell off just the sound that it made when the ball went off the bat, but luckily for the Cougs, the timing wasn't quite right, and it was foul all the way.
0-1 count now. Ferraro trying to get the Cougars out of this inning here. He gets his sign, delivers this one. Misses for ball 1.
Cooper checked his swing at the last second.
1-1 count. Runner over on first, 2 down. Ferraro sends this one in there for strike number 2.
Great pitch by Ferraro to just hit the outside part of the strike zone and put it so he only needs one more strike to get out of the inning.
1-2 count, 2 outs. Ferraro gets set here. He delivers this one. That's swung on. That's dropped into shallow right field. Dorsch coming up and underneath it. And it's going to bobble. Dorsch is going to allow Burden to advance to second. And that's going to give new life here for the Regents.
Not only do the Regents have a runner in scoring position, but they have one at third, just 90 feet away from increasing this Regent lead.
And that's going to put Duke up at the plate for the Regents. 2 outs, runners on corner bags, as that strike is in there for strike number 1.
Now Ferraro's just got to focus on getting the batter out, focus on getting pitches past him. Can't think about the runners on the bases.
That ball hit on into shallow right field. Coming in and tracking it is Dorsch. Kasich finding it in foul territory. Can't quite control that. A little bit of off balance. Again, I think the wind playing a factor into that, as Kasich had to run and then backtrack to try to reel it back in.
Yeah, Kasich was trying to play it with all the changes that the wind was causing the ball to go through, and in the end, the ball just ended up hitting the ground.
Still the 0-2 count here. Two outs, runners on the corners. Ferraro delivers this one. That's a chopper up the middle. It's going to get past the infield. Both Crater and Zagerman making the attempt for it. Can't quite get there. It finds some space, and that's going to score Burden.
And that shows how big Burden going from first to third on that prior hit was. If he had just stayed at second, he probably holds at third here, and it would just be bases loaded with 2 outs. Instead, the Regents are able to get a run across the plate.
Still 2 outs here. Top of the lineup for the Regents. Ferraro sends this one up and away for ball 1.
He's trying to go up high and away and get Bellotta to chase, but Bellotta did not bite on it.
The 1-0 count makes that a 2-0 count. Misses up and away. The throw over to first, no good. Brandon Mahler trying to catch Duke. Too far off the bag. Kasich coming in, trying to get that swipe to go, but unfortunately just not in time. Great base running from Zach Duke to get back safely.
Yeah, it was a good heads up by Duke to get back to first before the throw could get there.
And it's great trust from Mahler to Kasich to know that Kasich is going to get a glove on that, because Kasich, playing in the field where he's at now, he's a little bit further away from the bag than Duke is, but Mahler makes that throw anyway, knowing that his first baseman is going to get there, as that's a hopper over to short in the dirt, but able to scoop it and get out number 3. And that's going to close the inning, but the Regents once again able to put a couple runs up, and one run up and go ahead by a couple, leaves CUC trailing 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Tyler Crater leading things off for CUC. And he's going to wear that first pitch hard off of his leg. Not what you want to see to lead things off, but the Cougars will take a base runner where they can. And Crater slowly making his way down to first, walking that one off. That was a hard hit ball. Easton throwing that one with some heat.
Yeah, that one looked like it went right off of Crater's knee. Very painful, but ended up walking it off.
That ball catches the outside corner for strike number 1. 0-1 count, runner over on first. Mahler connects with that one, sends it deep. Fabus tracking it, can't quite get there. He makes the jumping attempt to try to get there, but can't quite. That's going to be a double for Mahler. Crater's going to hold at 3. And a big-time start to the inning for the Cougars, and that's going to put Yashawn Boswell at the plate.
That's about as perfect a start to the inning you could have if you're the Cougars. First batter gets on, next batter immediately hits a double, and now you got Boswell at a big hit in Game 1 coming up to bat with still no outs on the board. Very good spot for the Cougars to be in.
Boswell 1 for 4 in Game 2, but he picked up 2 RBIs on top of his season stats. He's hitting .316 with 16 total RBIs, and he lets that one go by for strike number 1. Sun starting to poke its way out of the clouds once again here at the Thunderdome. Boswell connects with that one, sends it. That's going to get down on the right field line. Crater's going to score. Mahler rounding third. He's going to hold. Boswell sliding in at second. He's safe. A big-time double for Yashawn Boswell, and that's going to put the Cougars on the board.
Just a beautifully hit ball by Boswell. It's just a blooper over the first base line, and Boswell, very aggressive base running there, took second. And again, the Cougars have runners on second and third, but now they've got a run on the board.
Mr. RBI, Yashawn Boswell putting another RBI up on the year, scoring the first run of the game for the Cougars, cutting into this Regent deficit, and that's going to put Brendan Holloway at the plate for CUC, and he's going to let that one go by for ball 1, but Holloway hitting .241 on the season. He's got 13 hits, 7 RBIs, and looking to get things rolling here in Game 2.
And the Cougars still have no outs on the board. And with Boswell being on second, that takes away the double play ball for the Regents.
Absolutely. Takes away the force in any scenario here. Cougars have a bit of control. Still operating with no outs as that ball misses outside. Makes it 2-1.
Yeah, if Holloway just hits a deep flyout, that scores the runner on the third and ties this game at 2-2.
This one swung on and missed from Holloway, levels the count at 2 apiece. Easton, 18 pitches so far on the day.
Made quick work of the Cougs in the first, but now is running into trouble here in the second.
2-2 count here. Easton delivers this one. Fouled off from Holloway, keeping his at-bat alive.
Owen had some power behind it, but timing just wasn't quite exact.
This one fouled off once again. Holloway doing what he needs to do to stay alive in this at-bat.
Yeah, Holloway's just in full defend the plate mode. He is swinging at anything that comes close, just trying to put something into play.
Twos across the board here. As Holloway connects with that one, that's going to be caught by Stogowski, but tagging up is Mahler. The throw not in time. CUC ties it up with a sac fly from Brendan Holloway.
And the Cougars are able to answer the Regent runs with two of their own, tie it up, and they still have Boswell on second with only one out. So they're in a good position to potentially take the lead here.
Only one out on the board. And a runner on second. Zagerman now at the plate. Zagerman came in game two and went 1-for-1 at the plate as he sends this one along the third base, able to glove it and get the throw over in time. That's going to hold Boswell where he was. Bellata doing his job. And now CUC operating with 2 outs and Eli Hickman at the plate.
Cougars looking for a big hit out of Hickman here. Hickman's great at getting walks, but now would be a perfect time for him to add one to his personal hit column.
You mentioned it, Hickman, great at getting walks. He stays aggressive in his at-bats and makes the pitchers really pitch to him. Obviously leading this team in walks, and looking at game number 1, did not collect a walk, went 1 for 5 at the plate, and was left on base twice. So he finds his way and just really stays aggressive, and I think that just comes with being one of those older leadership members of the CUC team, a graduate student. He's in his 5th year here with Cougar baseball and just really knows how to settle in and force these pitchers to pitch to him.
Yeah, like I said, he's experienced. He knows how to force pitchers to give him the pitches that he wants. Fortunately, now with 2 strikes, he's probably not going to be able to get the bunt attempt that he was looking for.
0-2 count, 2 outs, runner on second. This one misses up and away for ball 1. After Hickman brings up the top of the order for the Cougars, but needing to get there as he stays vigilant, lets that one go by, levels this count at 2, brings us to 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, if you're the Regents, you're trying to get out of this so that the Cougars don't have their top of the lineup coming up.
That one misses outside as well, brings us to a full count. Hickman fighting his way back in after initially starting this count 0-2. Easton getting his sign here. He gets set, checks on Boswell, sends this pitch in, fouled off from Hickman.
Easton's been trying to go to that upper outside area of the zone and trying to get Hickman to swing at a not great pitch, but Hickman wasn't biting and then fouled off that one. He just had a good eye on what to swing at and what to let go.
3-2 count here, 2 outs. This one up for ball 4. That's going to be a free base for Hickman and send things to the top of the order. Tyler Dorsch now getting his chance to continue this 2-out rally.
Yeah, Dorsch, like you said earlier, leading hitter for the Cougs, has a runner in scoring position. Now would be a perfect time to collect another quality hit and give the Cougs the lead.
Runners now on first and second. Dorsch lets this one go by for strike number 1. Dorsch 0 for 1 at the plate here in game number 2, but a lead hitter for CUC this year and regularly throughout his career. This one misses well outside for ball 1. Dorsch, one of 10 seniors on this CUC team. Senior Day being celebrated on Saturday right here at the Thunderdome. If you can't make it in person, coverage will be available at CUCougars.com or right here on the Cougar Sports Network as Dorsch connects with that one, sends it deep into left field. But up and underneath it is Burden for out number 3. And CUC unable to go ahead, but levels the score here in the bottom of the second. So we're going to head to the top of the third with the Cougars leveling the score and bringing new life here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, CUC doing some work in the bottom of the second, evening this score at 2 apiece. And Dylan Ferraro getting to work right away on the mound, sending in strike number 1 to Stigowski. That one missing makes this a 1-1 count.
Yeah, Ferraro's on the mound trying to keep it all knotted up so that when we head to the bottom of the third, the Cougar Bats have an opportunity to take the lead.
That one misses outside for ball number 2. Ferraro already 41 pitches on the day. Been shoving for the Cougars as this is a checked swing that is going to pop things up, and catching it in foul territory is Michael Kasich for out number 1. And that's going to bring Caden Bergstrom up to the plate for the Regents.
Yeah, Stigowski clearly didn't change his mind mid-swing on that one. We realized it was a little bit of a high pitch, but was just unable to check his swing all the way, and Cougars got a quick out.
1 out on the board, and Ferraro still keeping that momentum going as that one misses for ball 1. Bergstrom checked his swing on that one for good reason, but this time lets it go by for strike number 1.
Good pitch by Ferraro to the outside part of the zone.
That one catches the outside corner once again, makes this a 1-2 count. Dylan Ferraro finding his groove here in the top of the third.
He's going to make Bergstrom take that bat off his shoulder.
That one clips the dirt, levels the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. This one inside makes it a full count. Ferraro really finding the range here, clipping that outside corner and then looking to find something on that inside corner, catch Bergstrom off guard. This one in there for strike 3. Dylan Ferraro, fire me up. He catches Bergstrom looking and puts out number 2 on the board.
And those are just some beautifully placed pitches by Ferraro. Like you said, he painted the outside of the strike zone, then switched it up by going inside and getting Bergstrom to just stand there and watch him.
Fabus at the plate now. He takes strike number 1. As this one misses the outside corner for ball 1, levels the count at 1 apiece. Ferraro trying to hold the Regents here to their first scoreless inning of the game as Phoebus fouling that one off. Phoebus, one of 4 Regents that picked up a home run in game 1, picked up his first career home run and got things moving for the Regents. Phoebus also the winning pitcher in game 1 for Rockford, now playing in right field for the Regents, but he fouls that one off, keeping his at-bat alive here.
A little bit of a low pitch to swing at, but I feel like he thought that one was heading towards the zone, so he just had to defend the plate at all costs.
This one connected on set right up the middle. The diving attempt from Zagerman, no good. That's going to make its way to center field. Hickman able to collect it and hold Phoebus at first. And that's going to put Nate Burden at the plate for the Regents.
Burden coming to the plate, trying to start another 2-out rally for the Regents like we saw in the second inning and get them back the lead.
Runner on first, 2 outs. Ferraro delivers this one up for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch from Ferraro misses outside, makes it 2-0. Ferraro checking over on Phoebus at first. Doesn't quite get there. A little bit risky on that one, but Kasich collecting it. Can't quite get that tag in time, but the 2-0 count here. Misses, makes it 3-0.
And Phoebus with the good eye, knowing that now Ferraro probably has to throw something in almost the middle of the strike zone.
Ferraro checking on Phoebus once again. Ferraro's last outing for the Cougars pitched in the game 1 loss against Aurora. Pitched 5 innings in that loss while throwing 66 total pitches in his 25 batters faced. So a fresh start here for the sophomore from Colorado as that one is swung on. The throw over in time. Catches him going. Goodbye. Gets out of the inning. Phoebus caught stealing. Brandon Mahler's arm is not to be messed with.
Don't know what Phoebus was thinking there. He got way too late to jump on that pitch, and Mahler's cannon of an arm beat him to second easily, and Cougars managed for the first time this game to put a 0 in the score column for the Regents. And now heading to the bottom of the third, the Cougars have an opportunity to give themselves their first lead of the day.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, the first 0 up on that scoreboard of this game, and the first time that the Cougars have held the Regents to 0 runs since the top of the 8th in game 1. And realistically, just being able to put that 0 up this early on in the game is a very promising show for the Cougars, because you mentioned it, Eric, now the Cougars have the opportunity to go ahead. They held the Regents scoreless in the inning. It's a tie game, and now the Cougars' bats are able to come to life and potentially just one hit at a time being able to have the opportunity to go ahead. It's something that we haven't seen from the Cougars in quite some time on this doubleheader day.
Well, yeah, because they've been playing from behind since literally the top of the first inning of game 1. So now they're in a different position. They're in a position where they are in the driver's seat. Now they are in a position to take control and take the lead and dictate how the rest of this game plays out.
And leading things off is going to be Michael Kasich for the Cougars.
Number 2 batter leads off the bottom of the third.
Kasich 0 for 1 at the plate here in game number 2. In game 1, Kasich 2 for 3 at the plate. He connects with the first pitch. He sees that ball's deep. That's got promise. The wind is not helping as it drops just before the fence for out number 1. A unfortunate drop there because that ball had some power to it, but That's going to bring Jake Mahler up to the plate.
Yeah, off the bat, it looked good. It was going up, it was going out, but the wind just not going left out at all just kind of caused it to drop just before it got over the fence.
First pitch to Jake Mahler misses outside for ball 1. Mahler 0 for 1 here in game number 2. He connects on that one, sends it high and shallow. 3 Regents coming in to track it, backtracking and successfully able to glove it was Zach Duke for out number 2, and that's going to put Tyler Crater at the plate.
3 of the Regents almost had a mini collision in the outfield, but they were all able to dodge each other to allow Duke to make the catch and, like you said, get 2 quick outs for the Regents.
CUC now operating with 2 outs, trying to get something started here and capitalize on the possibilities here. Easton delivers this one in. Crater swings at that one, sends it foul along the first base line. Makes it an 0-1 count.
Crater's been hot for the Cougars recently. They're just looking for him to start a little 2-out rally here.
Crater connects with that one. That's deep. That's back. And able to glove it is Fabus for out number 3. Right at the fence line once again. If we counted how many times the Cougars have been robbed at the fence, I think it'd be quite a lot, Eric. But either way, a scoreless entire third inning, and that's going to put Ferraro back out on the mound as we head to the top of the 4th, all tied up at 2 apiece here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Want to catch up on all the CUC baseball action you missed this year?
Stick around on our YouTube channel and click the baseball playlist to see all of our highlights, interviews, and previous games.
Thank you all for the support. Love you, Mom.
This is driving me nuts. Look at the wind right now. That is blowing with aggression. It was still on Cat 6 hit. Even a little bit of wind and that ball was gone.
Over under 18.5 points scored this game.
I'm gonna take it that this is gonna be a 3-5 win for the Cougs.
I'll go 4-5 for the Cougs. Win. Man.
You think it's gonna be high scoring again?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Some lines for the softball doubleheader last week.
We did do really good at softball doubleheader lines.
Oh my gosh. It was all unders, but it was right there.
I thought the stolen base one hit the over.
Yeah, the stolen base one was the only one
Okay.
that hit.
Because Lindley stole like 2 bases.
Yeah. It was actually I saw it written down.
It was runs. We hit the under.
Yeah. We had 13.5 runs. 13.5 runs. 1.5 home runs. 1.5 cars hit. And then it was 5.5 stolen bases.
Yeah, because like in the
home runs that hit. There was number 5
Yeah.
batter leads off the
because
top of
in the
fourth.
second inning of the first game, someone hit a foul ball that went a thunk off the front of a truck.
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the 4th inning, Dylan Ferraro delivers ball number 1. Now at the plate for the Regents is Nate Burden. Has new life in his at-bat after his at-bat was interrupted in the last inning as a runner was caught stealing. Zach Fabus was caught stealing and gave new life here to Burden. I believe he was sitting with a full count in the last inning and now connects and sends this ball into the outfield to be collected by Dorsch.
Yeah, Burden had a second chance here, made the most of it, made good contact, but Dorsch was there to make the catch and put 1 out on the board quickly for the Cougars.
Baseman number 7, Blaze Mace.
Mace now at the plate for the Regents. He's 0 for 1 here in game number 2. Game 1 went 3 for 5, had an effective day at the plate. As he now sits with the 1-0 count. This one connected. Sent foul. Kasich tracking it, trying to get there. Can't quite get there in time. But great effort from the senior first baseman for the Cougars.
Yeah, Kasich was chasing after that one. He was running and running and running, but it was just unfortunately a little bit just out of his reach.
Kasich, another one of those CUC seniors that will be recognized at Saturday's Senior Day festivities, as that one is fouled off. Senior Day, first pitch in the doubleheader against Lakeland, slated for noon. Meanwhile, Senior Day festivities will begin at 10:45 right here at the Thunderdome, also available on the Cougar Sports Network. But meanwhile, over in Rockford on Saturday will also be the Regents Senior Day. So a double Senior Day for these two teams here, as Ferraro delivers that one upstairs for ball number 2. 2-2 count, 1 out, no runners on. Ferraro sends this one connected on. That's going back. Hickman tracking it all the way to the wall, but he's able to glove it with ease for out number 2. Hickman running into the center field wall in the process, but able to collect the out regardless.
Yeah, we've seen that in the last at-bats for each team. They both of them have been able to hit the ball hard and hit it deep, but the relative lack of wind has meant that the balls haven't been able to get out, and the fielders have been able to make catches at the warning track.
First pitch, they're going to check to see if he swung, say no, so that's going to miss for ball number 1. Preston Sewell taking the 1-0 count here early. That one right down the barrel for strike number 1. One count here, 2 outs. That one connected on a slow roller over to second. Boswell scoops it up with time, sends that throw over for out number 3. And that's going to get the Cougars another scoreless inning on the board in the field, holding the Regents once again. And that's going to send things to the bottom of the 4th, still level at 2 apiece.
Yeah, Ferraro was, after struggling a little bit in the first 2, has made quick work of the Regents here in innings 3 and 4, putting big old zeros on the scoreboard for them both times, and now sending us to the bottom of the 4th, where again the Cougars have an opportunity to take the lead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what we were talking about in the last inning, is just being able to hold the Regents where they're at and give yourselves a fighting chance to take some momentum here. And holding them scoreless here, even though the Cougars weren't able to score in the last inning to take that go-ahead run, they were able to hold the Regents once again and just give themselves the opportunity to do it. And that in itself, for a team like Rockford, who has had all the control here today, that's the Cougars taking back control and being able to find ways to stay effective. Making this a tie game early on versus falling behind early in game number 1. It's just these little things that the Cougars are able to do to maintain some control.
Yeah, like you said, the Cougars were able to stop the Regents from scoring. They were able to hold them, which is something that they couldn't do in game number 1. So the fact that they're able to do it here now in the early stages of game number 2 is a very good sign for the Cougars.
And that's going to bring Brandon Mahler up to the plate for CUC. Mahler 1 for 1 at the plate today. He's batting .284 on the season. That one in the dirt for ball 1. Mahler came in during game number 2. Dom Owens starting behind the plate for CUC. And Brandon Mahler coming in late in the game and now making the start here in game number 2. He now sits with the 2-0 count. That one catches in there for strike number 1.
Of the Mahler siblings, usually Jake's the bigger hitter, but Brandon would love to get a hit here.
As that ball popped up, going out of play behind the Cougar press box, makes it a 2-2 count. Easton delivers this one. Misses inside, ball 3.
Now with the full count, you expect Easton's got to throw something relatively close to the strike zone.
This one connected on sent foul from Mahler, keeping his at-bat alive. Doing a good job of protecting that plate, but not giving anything away here easily. And still sitting with the 3-2 count for Mahler. Easton delivers this one. Fouled off once again. 2 consecutive fouls for Mahler here.
Mahler's done a good job of making contact. Now he just needs to get the timing down and straighten the hits out a little bit.
7 pitches in this at-bat. This one connected on sent foul. But taking your advice, Eric, that instead of that ball coming straight back towards the press box, heading foul along the third base line. So slow and steady, figuring it out, but keeping this at a 3-2 count here. Easton delivers this one. Once again, fouled off along the first base side now. A long at-bat here for Mahler. Even longer for Easton throwing these pitches. 9 pitches in this at-bat.
And this is an at-bat where Easton might not feel it now, but he'll be feeling this in the later stages of this game.
As that ball misses for ball 4. So great work from Brandon Mahler to stay vigilant at the plate and aggressive to take that walk after fouling off quite a few pitches and hands things over to Yashawn Boswell.
Yeah, that was just a great job by Mahler of defending the plate and making sure that Easton couldn't get one past him until eventually Easton was trying to get the outside and just lost his control. And now the Cougars got a runner on first with nobody out.
Boswell showing a long bunt over, and Bergstrom collecting the tag, but it is going to move Mahler over to second for Brendan Holloway now to come to the plate. Not the best bunt and not exactly what you were looking for Boswell, but able to do so just to move that runner around.
Yeah, if Boswell was hoping to get on base, he didn't succeed in that part, but he managed to move Mahler to second and put a runner in scoring position for the Cougs.
That first pitch misses low for ball 1. Sun starting to appear in River Forest once again. That ball misses upstairs, makes it 2-0. Holloway still chasing his first hit here in game number 2.
Now it would be a perfect time for him to get it with the runner in scoring position.
As that catches the inside corner for strike number 1. Two-one count, 1 out, runner on second. Wind starting to pick up a bit. Easton gets set here. He delivers. Connected on. That's going to find space into the outfield. Holloway's going to make his way to first. Mahler's going to hold. And handing things over to the next guy is going to put Xavier Zagerman at the plate.
Holloway got his first hit of the day. Mahler forced a hold up at third because wasn't quite deep enough to score him, but now the Cougars have runners on the corners, still only 1 out, so very good position for Zagerman to come in and hopefully get a big clutch hit.
Zagerman 0 for 1 at the plate today. He's batting .200 on the season with 15 RBIs. As Easton looks to catch Holloway, but can't quite get there in time. Still only 1 out on the board. Runners on the corner bags. Once again, checking on Holloway. Safely diving back at first.
And with the repeated pickoff attempts at first, you do risk one of them getting past the first baseman and allowing Mahler to score from third.
A unfortunate bunt from Zagerman. Popping up is going to put out number 2 on the board and hand things over to Eli Hickman.
That is the opposite of the bunt you want. You want to lay down a bunt that's on the ground and just in the middle of all the fielders. That one just went straight up to Easton, who only had to move a little bit to make a play on it.
So now Cougars have runners on the corner bags, but operating with 2 outs here. Eli Hickman at the plate for CUC. Hickman still chasing his first hit here in game number 2.
And the fact that you have 2 outs now also removes the potential sac fly attempt.
The go-ahead run from the Cougars, 90 feet from the plate. Hickman fouling that one off makes this 0-1. Hickman 1 for 5 in game 1. Trying to do his part here and give the Cougars an early advantage. He swings through that one, makes this an 0-2 count.
Now Easton and the Regents just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning with no harm done, while Hickman's trying to put something into play here.
0-2 count, 2 outs, runners on the corners. This pitch misses upstairs. 1-2 count now.
And with now 1 ball, that makes that you have, for Easton, you're in a position where you can try to paint the outside of the zone and try to get Hickman chasing.
Easton sends this one inside for ball 2. Regents not happy with that call. From our angle, looked like it was well inside, but levels this at 2 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runners on the corners. Easton sends this one connected on from Hickman. It's popping up into shallow center field. Tracking in and underneath it is Stragowski for out number 3. And the Cougars leave 2 runners stranded. And we're going to head to the top of the 5th, still tied at 2 apiece, as Ferraro still making his way out to the mound for the Cougars. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Kobe Cooper leading things off for the Regents. A bit of a defensive change for CUC as Cam Buckley has now entered the game in left field for the Cougars, replacing Brendan Holloway. And Cooper now sits with the 1-1 count.
Ferraro's been dealing the last 2 innings. Off to a good start here in the top of the 5th. 1-2 count against Cooper.
Ferraro sends this one. Misses for ball 2. Brandon Mahler thought that was in there for strike number 3. Ready to throw that one down to Crater, but makes this a 2-2 count.
Yeah, pitch looked good from up here, but from the ump's POV was a ball.
That one fouled off, keeps this at a 2-2 count.
That one had a crisp sound to it, so luckily for the Cougars, that one was foul all the way.
This one put into play, a bouncer over. Boswell able to glove it, get the throw in time to Kasich for out number 1. And that's going to bring Zach Duke up to the plate for the Regents.
Ferraro trying to keep the momentum on the Cougars' side.
Duke 1 for 1 at the plate here in game number 2. He's batting .296 on the season. He takes that one in there for strike 1. This one misses out and away for ball 1. This one connected on, hit into left field. Calling for it is Zagerman coming in. And Zagerman able to grab that in shallow infield. Buckley came quickly sprinting in after realizing that ball was not traveling as far as initially thought. But Zagerman able to easily glove it for out number 2.
Yeah, Buckley made a long run to back up Zagerman in case there was a bobble. But Zagerman made the catch nice and easy, and Ferraro's got 2 quick outs.
Jake Bellata at the plate now for the Regents. He's been a force to be reckoned with for Rockford. 1 for 2 here in game number 2. And was responsible for that first run that scored in the top of the first. And looking back to game 1, he was 2 for 6 at the plate. 3 runs, 3 RBIs. Had a solo home run of his own. And he's going to take that one in there for strike number 1.
That was a great pitch by Ferraro. Just a nice strike into the upper part of the strike zone.
This one misses up for ball 2.
Try to go to that exact same spot again, except that one lifted just a little bit too much on him.
2-1 count, 2 outs here. Ferraro sends this one. That's put into play. It's going to find space as Boswell was cheating the middle. And that's going to make its way all the way to right field for a single for Bellata. If Boswell wasn't cheated towards the middle that much, he might have been able to make a play on that. But all day today, Bellata's been putting that ball into play on the left side of the field. So you can't really fault Boswell for where he was playing, but just a unfortunate circumstance for the Cougars. And again, just a great at-bat for Bellata. First pitch for Stagowski is in there for strike number 1.
Skowski's trying to get a 2-out rally going for the Regents, while Ferraro's just trying to get 2 more strikes across and send it to the bottom of the inning.
This one fouled back, makes this an 0-2 count. Ferraro checking on Bellata over at first. He sends the pitch in. Misses outside for ball 1.
Just trying to get Bellata to chase with that one, but Bellata did not bite.
1-2 count now, 2 outs, runner on first. Ferraro 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. This one fouled off. Keeping his at-bat alive here. Ferraro stepping off, goes to check on Bellata. Resetting here, gets set. 1-2 count. Sends this pitch in the dirt for ball 2.
That one was just way outside and way low. So Ferraro's just trying to reset a little bit here. Has 2 strikes on Bellata. Or on Stagnowski, sorry, just needs to get 1 more past him.
Checking over at first, and they're going to get him. Bellata caught out at first. A quick throw from Dylan Ferraro gets the Cougars out of the inning. Bellata cannot believe that call, but the Cougs knew it was coming.
Just excellent IQ by Ferraro. He saw a lot of cheating, just a little bit too much off the bag, and he made him pay for it. Got the ball to Kasich, who just applied the quick tag to get the Cougs out of the inning.
And the Cougars force the Regents to their third consecutive scoreless inning, and that's going to put the pressure on the Cougar bats as we head to the bottom of the fifth, all knotted up at 2 apiece right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the fifth, CUC still tied up with Rockford at 2 apiece. Tyler Dorst leading things off for the Cougars. CUC held Rockford to their third consecutive scoreless inning, and Easton now delivers 2 consecutive balls to Dorsch. This one catches in there for strike 1.
Yeah, last few innings, the Cougar pitching and defense has just been locked in and playing perfectly. Now they just need the bats to come alive.
This one catches that outside corner, levels this at 2 apiece. Dorsch trying to find some momentum here in the inning. He went 1 for 5 at the plate in game 1. 0 for 2 here in game 2. He connects with that one, sends it into shallow center field. Coming in to track it is Stegowski, for out number 1. And that's going to bring Michael Kasich up to the plate.
Kasich had the nice tag at first to end the top half of the inning. Now he's trying to get his bat going here in the bottom of the inning and get on base to get a Cougar rally going.
So 1 out here for Kasich. Easton delivers this pitch. That's popped up from Kasich. Tracking up and underneath it for the out is Bergstrom. And that's going to put 2 outs quickly on the board, and Jake Mahler now at the plate.
Mahler's coming up trying to break this pitching duel that has suddenly developed going back to the 3rd inning.
Mahler 0 for 2 here in game 2. He sends that one foul down the third base line. In game 1, Mahler 2 for 3 at the plate, 1 run and 2 walks on the game. As that misses for ball 1. One and one pitch here. Swung on by Mahler. That's going to make its way to left field. It's going to get past Burden. Misread that bounce. Mahler holding at 2. And that's going to get a 2-out rally rolling for the Cougars.
Yeah, Cougars have a runner on second now, but that was just a hard hit ball by Mahler. It looked like Burden thought the ball was going to take a little bit of a higher bounce than it did. It just ended up just going straight under his glove and rolling to the wall to the point where the center fielder had to come in and make the throw for him.
And that's going to bring Tyler Crater to the plate. Runner now on second. As we mentioned, that would be the go-ahead run over on second. So realistically, a base hit, as long as it's with enough space, could potentially give the Cougars their first lead of the day. But needing to get there first, as Crater lets that one go past him for ball number 1.
And Mahler's got some wheels, so if it's a well-hit ball, he can definitely come around to score.
1-1 count here, 2 outs. Easton delivers this one, and that catches in there for strike number 2.
That pitch just clipped the outside of the zone.
1-2 count now, 2 outs. This one misses outside, levels this count at 2 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Easton tried to go to the exact same spot, but just pulled a little bit too much outside.
Easton sends this one, misses low for ball 3. Crater staying aggressive at the plate. Crater collected 2 walks in game number 1. And he connects on that one. That sends deep back. Trouble for the Regents. That's going to bounce off of the fence. Mahler's going to score with ease. Crater's going to stand up at 2, and the Cougars go ahead with a stand-up double from Tyler Crater.
Crater just smacked that one into the outfield. The center fielder followed and followed, but it just went right off the top of the high wall in the outfield. Mahler came around to score easily, and for the first time all day today, the Cougars have the lead.
And it is going to continue here as CUC still sits with a runner on second. Brandon Mahler at the plate for the Cougars. Mahler 1 for 1 at the plate today, able to get on base in his last at-bat and jumpstart some things for the Cougars. I'm looking to keep that rally going here.
Yeah, if he can get a good hit here, that almost certainly increases the Cougars' lead.
This one fouled off, makes this an 0-2 count. You mentioned it, Eric. This is the first lead that the Cougars have had all day, not just in this game, but all day. The Regents have led the entirety of game 1, despite some close back-and-forth battle, and have either led or tied this game here in game 2. So a big moment for the Cougars and a big momentum shifter. You can see the Regents just a little bit frazzled from that go-ahead run scoring. Easton taking a deep breath on the mound as he gets set here to try to close this inning and minimize that damage, but he sends that one in the dirt to level the count at 2 apiece.
Yeah, Easton's just trying to collect himself and send it to the top of the 6th, with the Regents only needing to make up 1 run, but Mahler, on the other hand, is trying to increase it.
Easton sends this one in, connected on by Mahler. That ball is deep. It's at the fence. It's off the top of the fence. A really close ball from Brandon Mahler, but that's going to score another run. A stand-up double for Brandon Mahler, and the Cougs are up by 2.
Tyler Crater and Brandon Mahler had 2 identical hits to almost the exact same plays, and they both had results. They scored the runner on second, and the Cougars have a 4-2 lead now. They are in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. Like I mentioned, Cougs just needing to find that momentum, and a burst here in the bottom of the 5th is a perfect way to do that. Putting up 2 runs already. Yashawn Boswell at the plate, and the Cougs are hot. Finding back-to-back doubles is a great way to kind of steal that momentum back and leave this Regent squad a little bit frazzled here with 2 outs.
And Boswell had a double his last time up to bat, so he could keep the streak going for the Cougs and bring Mahler around to score.
As Boswell fouls that one off, makes this an 0-1 count. Easton trying to get out of this inning. This one connected on, but it's going to be gloved by Mace, and the Regents are able to hold the Cougars where they are, but CUC putting up 2 runs in the inning to go ahead 4-2 for the first time of the day. We're going to head to the top of the 6th. Dylan Ferraro still dishing on the bump for CUC. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Dylan Ferraro still dishing on the bump. Sends that one in for ball 1 to Joseph Stigowski.
Ferraro's the first Cougar pitcher today to be pitching with the lead, and he's on the mound trying to hold on to it. He's got a 2-run lead. He's very much in control here.
1-2 count now for Ferraro. 79 pitches so far on the day. Ferraro's done a nice job holding the Regents scoreless in the last 3 innings, but the Regents haven't trailed the Cougars at any point today, so coming into this inning behind for the first time, it's going to bring out a different breed of Rockford as they're looking to kind of stay hungry and stay aggressive, maybe falling a little bit stagnant in those middle innings of this game, you know, just kind of staying up with the Cougars and hanging out in that even business. But now that the Cougars have officially taken the lead, seeing the Regents kind of stay aggressive and really come at this inning with aggression is going to be something that we're going to see this at bat. As that ball is fouled off, keeping this at a 2-2 count.
Like you're saying, we've seen the Regents hold on to their leads and build their leads. Now we have to see what it looks like when they're the ones trailing and they have to come back and cut in to the Cougar lead now.
2-2 count here, no outs. Ferraro sends this one in. That's hit on. High and shallow. Coming in and tracking it is Dorsch. And he's up and under it for out number 1.
One pistol shrimp puts away another.
As that's going to bring Caden Bergstrom up to the plate for the Regents.
First baseman number 33, Caden
And Ferraro just keeps the Cougar momentum on the mound going. He threw up. Regent blanks in the last 3 innings, trying to make it 4 zeros in a row.
Bergstrom 1 for 2 at the plate here in game number 2. Went 4 for 5 at the plate in game 1, and he's going to drop that one into center field for a base hit.
Yeah, Hickman made a good pursuit of the ball, but he wasn't able to get it in time, so he just fielded the bounce and got the ball back to make sure to hold Bergstrom at first.
And that's going to bring Zach Fabus up to the plate for the Regents. Fabus 1 for 2 at the plate here in game number 2. He went 4 for 6 in game 1. One of 4 Regents that picked up a home run. He also had a double in game 1. So looking to stay aggressive here as he lets that first pitch go by for ball 1. This one misses low, makes it a 2-0 count.
Ferraro went high, Ferraro went low. Now he's just got to try to find something in the middle.
A quick little mound visit for the Cougars. The outer infielders taking a quick second to discuss things with their pitcher, resettling things. 2 seniors on this CUC team coming in to discuss with a sophomore, just sharing some experience and some overall insight here to resettle things for Ferraro as he sends this pitch outside for ball 3.
And if you're Fabus up to bat, you're looking that there is a gap down the left field line. If you can place a ball past the third baseman, that will be a very deep hit.
As that one catches in there for strike number 1. Yeah, you mentioned it, Eric. The CUC fielders cheating right a little bit and leaving a lot of space along that left side of the field. Both Crater and Buckley playing in that way, but either way, Fabus is going to find space on the right side. Dorsch able to collect it, get it in. That's going to stop Fabus from taking an extra base. A great throw from Tyler Dorsch. But Fabus finding space where he needed to, and that's going to move the Regents around and put a runner 90 feet from the plate.
Yeah, even though Fabus wasn't able to make it to second, it was still a well-hit ball. Placed runners on the corners. So now they're in a spot where obviously the runner on third won't tie the game, but it will cut the lead in half. And so they are in a position here to do some damage with only 1 out on the board.
And that's going to see a pitching change for the Cougars as Connor Fitzgerald now entering for CUC. We're going to see Dylan Ferraro close his time on the mound after that one. And overall, a good outing for Ferraro. He put up 3 consecutive scoreless innings for the Regents and really helped the Cougars get back into this. Gave CUC offense the opportunity to come back after doing his job on the mound and holding them scoreless. So you can't be mad at that outing from Ferraro.
Oh, absolutely not. Like you said, he stumbled a little bit at the beginning, but then got his composure back through 3 scoreless innings that allowed the Cougs to come back and take the leader. So all in all, a very good outing for the sophomore.
Final stat line for Dylan Ferraro, 5 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 8 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 22 batters faced, and a total of 92 pitches thrown. And that's going to hand things over to number 17, Connor Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, a senior on this CUC team, another one of those seniors being recognized on Saturday. But Fitzgerald making his 11th appearance of the season. He's got a season ERA of 2.40, 15 innings pitched, 8 walks, and 10 total strikeouts on the season. He's got a 196 batting average against him, so an effective pitcher and an effective arm for the CUC, looking to come in and continue to hold the Regents scoreless.
Hey, he's coming in. His goal is to just get 2 quick outs, get the Cougars out of the inning with their 4-2 lead intact, and send it so that the bats can hopefully increase the lead.
Fitzgerald getting set here. He chooses to throw back at Fabus, but Fabus diving safely back. Burden 0 for 1 here in game number 2, but had an effective game number 1. Went 2 for 5 at the plate, 5 RBIs, 1 of 4 Regents that had a home run. And Burden had that grand slam at the end of game 1 that really kind of shifted all possible momentum to the Regents. So we've seen his bat come to life when necessary, and with only 1 out, runners on the corners, and the Regents trailing for the first time today, trailing by 2. Right now is a great time for Burden to get hot. The 2-0 count here. Fitzgerald once again checking back on Fabus.
And if Burden, he's the first batter that Fitzgerald is going to face. If he can get a good hit here, maybe rattle Fitzgerald a little bit so that the incoming Regent batters can do even more damage.
Fitzgerald sends this one in. That's put into play. Boswell able to scoop it. Looking to turn 2. He gets 1. The throw to first is not in time, and that's going to allow a run to score. But a great scoop there from Boswell to keep that ball in the infield and collect 1 out. But the Regents slowly creeping their way back into this makes this a 1-run deficit for Rockford, and that's going to put Blaze Mace at the plate.
Second baseman number 7, Blaze.
Yeah, Rockford, even though they got the out, managing to cut the lead in half, now only trailing by 1.
As that first pitch catches in there for strike number 1.
That was a great pitch, just clipped the outside edge of the zone. Mace thought it was a ball all the way.
0-1 count, 2 outs, runner over on first. Fitzgerald sends this one in. That's popped up. Zagerman able to scoop it, gets the flip over to second for the out, and that's going to get the Cougars out of the inning. But the Regents put 1 run up and make this game interesting as CUC still on top 4-3 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Don't go anywhere here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Fans, I'm Connor Manis.
And I'm Connor Jacadis.
Interested in learning more about our beautiful university?
Head over to cuchicago.edu for all the information you need about this lovely school.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's game.
And as always,
Roll Cougs!
Love you, Mom.
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Cam Buckley leading things off for CUC. Easton still dishing on the mound for the Regents. He delivers his first pitch in there for strike number 1. CUC on top 4-3. Regents able to tack a run on in the top half of the inning to slowly start closing this gap that the Cougars made after the Cougars initially trailed 2-0 early on in the game, then tied things up. CUC breaking it back open a little bit, taking the 2-run lead, and Regents trying to turn that momentum back to themselves, putting 1 run up in the top half of this inning. Cam Buckley doing what he can to keep this going for the Cougs, as that ball is going to drop in shallow right field and lead things off with a single for the Cougs.
That is the very definition of a bloop single, but it's a single all the same, and now the Cougars got a runner on first with intentions of growing their lead back to 2 and hopefully even more.
Xavier Zagerman now at the plate for CUC. He's 0 for 2 on the day, batting .200 on the season, as Easton checks on Buckley at first.
Zagerman had a bunt pop out last time it was up, so now he's hoping that he'll have a different result.
As that ball misses outside for ball 1. One 0 count here. Checking on Buckley once again. Buckley, a good base runner for the Cougars, but only 3 stolen bases on the season. 3 for 3 on attempts. One of the lower ends for the Cougars, which is surprising given the speed of the sophomore. But Zagerman's going to find space. That's going to get right past Duke, find its way into left field, and a single for Zagerman is going to move Buckley onto second and put 2 runners on for Eli Hickman.
And a hot start to the inning for the Cougs, a pair of quick singles, and now if you're the Regents, you're also thinking that once you get past Hickman, you're back to the top of the Cougar lineup. So you have to watch out and hopefully try to minimize the damage that the incoming top of the lineup will be able to do.
And Hickman is someone that we've seen move through this Cougar lineup quite a bit. Hickman starting the season off hitting as the top of the order for the Cougars. So seeing him now at the bottom of the order, it's just sharing that wealth a little bit across the entire lineup. And, you know, we've seen Hickman be a leadoff hitter. Now he's closing out the order, but that could also just be another way of being the top of the order here. He's already getting things started here as he fouled off his first bunt attempt. Now trying to lay that one down. It's popped up and caught from Sewell. Cougars not having much momentum or much luck with the bunts, I should say.
Now that's the second, I guess you'd call it a bunt out that we've seen this inning by the Cougars, where it's either gone straight up to the pitcher or straight up to the catcher and does not succeed in its ideal job of moving the runners.
So that's going to put 1 out on the board, as Tyler Dorsch now at the plate. That one's going to catch the outside corner for strike number 1.
And it's not Dorsch's best hitting day, so you know he'd love to make up for it here, get a big hit to bring a run around to score.
As Dorsch connects with that one, it's deep, it's back at the wall, all the way back, looking to try to get underneath it, and he's able to, is Stagowski. But Buckley is going to tag up. Zagerman's going to hold at first. And that's going to hand things over to Michael Kasich.
Now it's up to Kasich with the 2 outs to get a big hit here to get the Cougars lead back to 2 and keep this rally going here in the 6th.
2 outs now on the board. Easton trying to get out of this inning, holding the Cougars scoreless to give the Regents the opportunity to battle their way back. Doing a good job here so far. Runners on the corner bags for CUC as Kasich lets that one go by for ball 1. Kasich 0 for 3 here in game number 2. He connects with that one, sends it into space in left center. That ball's going to get down at the wall. 1 run's going to score. Zagerman's rounding second. He's rounding third. Zagerman's going to make the attempt to go home. And the sliding attempt is not good. The throw from the Regents gets Zagerman out at home. And that's going to get the Regents out of the inning, but the Cougars are going to put another run up in the process. A rocket throw in from the Regents to close the inning. A great tag there from Sewell, and that's going to send things to the top of the 7th. CUC back on top by 2 here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Connor Fitzgerald still dishing on the mound for CUC as Sewell takes a swing at the first pitch he sees. Tracking it foul is Dorsch and Kasich, and neither one of them able to get there in time. But that's going to put the 0-1 count on the board.
Fitzgerald came in the top of the 6th, made some quick work of the Regents, did give up a run on a fielder's choice, but still holding on to a lead and just trying to protect this, again, 2-run Cougar lead.
As Fitzgerald delivers that one outside, makes this a 1-1 count. Like you mentioned, CUC back ahead by 2 after putting 1 run up in the bottom of the 6th. So holding on to their lead here as Fitzgerald delivers that one inside, makes it a 2-1 count. Fitzgerald gets set here. He delivers this one. So that's swung on, coming shallow in. Kasich tracking it, can't quite get there. Dorsch coming in, but playing deep. That's going to allow that ball to drop in shallow right field. So a single there for Sewell to get things started for the Regents.
That one just went right off the end of Sewell's bat. And Kasich and Dorsch both tried to get to it, but just because of where they were playing, it landed right in the middle of the 2 of them. So now the Regents have a runner on and the potential tying run up to bat.
That's going to bring Kobe Cooper up to the plate for the Regents. Cooper 1 for 2 at the plate. He lets that one go for strike number 1. Oh, 1 count here. No outs, runner on first. Fitzgerald sends this one. Misses low for ball 1.
Fitzgerald's been pitching all around the zone today. He's been trying to get some batters to chase high, some to chase low, some inside or outside. It's been a mixed bag of results so far.
This one misses just outside, makes it a 2-1 count now. Cooper staying aggressive at the plate, letting those outside pitches go. The 2-1 pitch from Fitzgerald inside makes it 3-1.
And now with 3 balls, Fitzgerald is kind of forced here to throw something close to the strike zone. That also does bode the risk of Cooper potentially getting a good ball to hit.
This one misses outside for ball 4. That's going to put runners on first and second for the Regents. And the Cougar infield taking a quick second to have a discussion. But that's going to bring Zach Duke up to the plate for Rockford. Duke's 1 for 2 here in game number 2. But in game 1, Duke 3 for 4 at the plate and just had an all-around day, picking up a double and other clutch hits for the Regents. So having no outs and runners on first and second with Duke at the plate is a little bit troublesome for the Cougars.
Yeah, this is not the spot you want to be in with if you're the Cougars. 2 runners on, no outs.
Duke showing bunt, popping it up. Nobody can get there in time. It's going right over Fitzgerald's head. Instead, they're going to get the out at second. Duke is going to be safe at first. An unfortunate situation, but realistically still able to get the out. At least 1 out, but that is going to move runners around.
Yeah, you got the runner heading to second out, but you still have runners on the corners. And again, you had Kasich, first baseman, coming in. You had Fitzgerald coming in. So as a result, the pop-up bunt, which could have been caught for an out, just went right over both of their heads. And so they had to play it off the ground.
And that's going to bring head coach of the Cougars, Colin Connor, out to the mound. Having a quick discussion here. Some movement in the Cougar bullpen, but doesn't quite look like that's the move at the immediate moment. You can see Coach Connor discussing with his entire infield, not just Fitzgerald, trying to keep everybody calm and resettle and assess some things here.
Yeah, the Cougars haven't allowed any runs yet in this inning. They have 1 out. All it takes is some effective pitching, maybe a good, quick double play ground ball, and the Cougars are out of it with no damage done by the Regents. They just have to settle down and make sure to not make any sloppy mistakes or errors.
Fitzgerald now getting set here. Top of the order for the Regents. Bellata at the plate. He swings the first pitch. He sees that's going to drop into space in left field, going all the way to the wall. Cam Buckley able to get it off the wall, but 1 run's going to score. And Bellata's safe at second. A big-time hit for Bellata. Duke's going to make his way to third. And head coach of the Cougars, Colin Connor, coming back out. We are going to see a pitching change now, as it does look like Jack Carroll will be entering the game for the Cougars. And the Regents slowly closing that gap.
Yeah, first pitch coming out of that mound visit. That ball was just smacked into left field, and now the Regents have not only the tying run at third, but they have the leading run standing on second base, again, with only 1 out on the board. So they are in a pretty prime position to take that lead right back from the Cougars.
It's a tough spot to be in because for Fitzgerald doing what he needed to do and just putting that ball in play, and makes you think back to that pop-up bunt that couldn't quite get any gloves on initially, and there was just some of these other little things that we could have seen from the Cougars being able to get that moving and just weren't able to, and that's going to bring Jack Carroll in here to try to overcome some of those other obstacles that we saw Fitzgerald facing. But overall, not a bad outing for the senior in Connor Fitzgerald. Final stat line for Fitzgerald here in game number 2.
Yeah, Fitzgerald did what he was meant to do. He came in the top of the 6th, got 2 quick outs to get out of that inning, but now ran into some trouble here in the 7th, and that's why the Cougars are hoping Carroll can come in and essentially do what Fitzgerald did an inning ago.
Fitzgerald, 1 inning pitched for the Cougars, 2 hits allowed, 1 run, 1 walk, 6 batters faced, 16 total pitches. But at a time like this, the Cougars just don't have much more of a leeway to give, so being able to utilize the depth that the Cougar bullpen has and not force things here is going to be key. And again, it's nothing against what Fitzgerald was able to do while he was on the mound for the Cougars, but being able to capitalize and hold the Regents where they are and continue to hold on to this lead is going to be key here in this game.
Yeah, they need to focus on just keeping the runners where they are, making sure so that even though they're both in scoring position, they won't be able to actually come across to score. And that when we head to the bottom of this inning and the 7th inning stretch, that the Cougars are still holding on to the lead.
Jack Carroll now coming onto the mound for the Cougars and making his way to the plate is Joseph Stagowski. Trying to keep things rolling here. Stagowski 0 for 3 at the plate here in game number 2. Was 1 for 5 in game 1, but he lets that one go by for ball 1.
And with runners on second and third, all it takes is one well-placed hit from Stagowski to give the Regents the lead back. So Carroll's got to be careful with his pitching.
This one misses upstairs, ball 2. One out, runners on second and third. This one swung on, makes it a 2-1 count.
And since there's no double play ground ball option available for the Cougs, Carroll's just got to focus on the batter, just focus on getting him out and moving on to the next batter.
That ball fouled off along the first base line, making its way into the Cougar dugout. Levels this at 2-2. Carroll gets set here. He delivers this one. That's swung into space in the outfield. That's danger for the Cougars. Backtracking it. It's bouncing off the wall. Hickman can't quite get there. One run's going to score. Bellata's going to get sent home. The throw from Zagerman, not in time, and the Regents take the lead once again.
All they needed was one well-hit ball, and Stagowski delivered. He sent that one into the gap in the outfield right at the wall, and just like that, the Regents are commanding a 6-5 lead over the Cougs.
The Regents have found their momentum exactly when they needed it, and in a situation like that with runners on second and third and only one away, that was a perfect opportunity for Rockford to get hot, and that's what they did, capitalizing on that. And the Cougars just unable to do anything about that. That was a high bouncing ball off of the center field fence, but now coming in to try to track this out is Michael Kasich, who gets that high flying ball out from Bergstrom, and that's going to put 2 outs up on the board.
And even though there's still 2 outs on the board, there is also still a runner in scoring position for Favis, who's been electric with the bat today. So if he can get a hold of another good quality hit, that increases this Regent lead.
Absolutely. So now 2 outs on the board. Fabus at the plate. Carroll sends this one in. That misses outside for ball 1. One 0 count here for Carroll. Runner over on second. Carroll sends this one. Misses outside for ball 2.
Carroll was trying to find the outside corner there. Just ended up going a little bit too far out.
2-0 pitch here from Carroll. That one catches the outside corner for strike number 1.
Favis held his swing, but it ended up being a strike anyway.
2-1 count here, 2 outs, runner on second. Carroll sends this one. Misses for ball 3. Carroll trying to prevent another walk here for the Cougars. He sends this one in. That misses up and away for ball 4. That's going to put runners on first and second. And Nate Burden now at the plate for the Regents. A troublesome spot for the Cougars as Burden has had a great day at the plate for the Regents. Carroll doing what he needs to do to get out of this inning.
Yeah, Burden's been very effective for them today, so Carroll's just got to focus on getting him out and escaping the inning with the Cougars only down by 1.
Burden 0 for 2 here in game number 2, but had a great game 1 for the for the Regents. 2 for 5 at the plate with 5 RBIs. Carroll trying to prevent that here as that ball misses outside for ball 1, levels the count at 1 apiece. Runners on first and second, 2 outs here. Carroll sends this one up and away for ball 2.
Carroll's been trying to pitch the outside of the strike zone, try to get some nice placement there, but just hasn't been able to do it consistently so far.
This ball connected on sent foul. Tracking it back is Crater, but can't quite get there in time. But that's going to bring this to 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Now Carroll just needs to get one more pitch passed by Burden to get out of the inning.
Carroll gets set here. He sends this pitch in. That's fouled off. Burden keeping himself alive here. Carroll 9 strikeouts on the season, looking for his 10th here, trying to hold the Regents where they're at. This one misses the outside corner, loads this count at 3-2. Carroll 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. Misses for ball 4. That's going to load the bases up, just missing that outside corner. And head coach of the Cougars, Colin Connor, coming out. And we're going to see a pitching change here in the 7th inning. We're going to take a quick break while we get all of that situated here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, new arm on the mound for the Cougars is Elliot Higgins. Higgins looking to close things out. Only need 1 out here as Mace now at the plate for the Regents, trying to keep this alive for them. A 2-out rally, but Higgins delivers strike number 1.
And a silver lining for the Cougs, even though the bases are loaded, they do have 2 outs. It's a force out at any base, so ground ball anywhere can end the inning. Higgins
been an efficient pitcher for the Cougars this season as that ball rolls foul. Higgins making his 11th appearance here today. 3.15 ERA on the season, 20 total innings pitched, and 20 strikeouts on the season for the Cougars, the second highest amongst all Cougars. So if there's anybody that you want on the mound right now for CUC, it's Elliot Higgins.
Oh, definitely. He's the one that you want to get you out of a jam, which is what the Cougars are currently right in the middle of.
Bases loaded situation, 0-2 count here, 2 outs. This pitch swung on and missed. That's going to bounce foul. Mahler trying to get there in time, not going to get there in time. A run's going to score. An unfortunate bounce there from away from Mahler. So Higgins doing his job and getting that swinging strikeout, but the drop third is going to allow a pass ball to advance everybody and put a run up and keep this inning alive for the Regents.
And again, Higgins did his job. He got the third strike pass, but Mahler just wasn't able to corral the pitch, and now Higgins has to face a whole new batter.
Regents now up 7-5 here. That first pitch swung on. A sliding grab from Zagerman's going to get the Cougars out of the inning, a much-needed out, and that's going to send things to the bottom of the 7th. We're going to take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Regents officially taking the lead in the top half of the inning. Cougars now trail 7-5, but Jake Mahler leading things off for CUC, but a new arm on the mound for the Regents in number 1, Will Hissong, senior out of Rockford, Illinois. And Mahler's going to swing through that one, make it a 1-1 count.
And the Cougars now once again fighting from behind, needing Mahler to help get something going.
As Mahler pops that one up, coming in, and underneath it is Fabus. Mace tracking it for a while and then essentially losing it in the sun and handing it off to Fabus, but that's quite all right because Fabus was right there anyway, and that's going to bring Tyler Crater up to the plate for the Cougars.
And again, if you're the Cougars and you're needing to make up some ground, this is the chunk of the lineup that you want coming up to bat. You want Mahler, you want batters like Crater to come up because you know that they can produce hits when you need them the most.
First pitch to Crater, low and away for ball 1. As he connects with that one, sends it deep. It's back. It's got promise, and that ball is gone onto Division Street. A big-time home run for Tyler Crater is exactly what the Cougars needed right now. Bingo, bango, bongo. Tyler Crater getting that momentum right back for the Cougars.
Tyler Crater said, I know we just gave up the lead, but I'm going to do my part to help us take it right back. I'm going to hit a big solo shot to left, and I'm going to cut this Regent lead in half. Cougars now only trailing by 1.
And that's going to put Brandon Mahler now at the plate for CUC, trying to continue this momentum. First pitch to Mahler misses up for ball number 1. CUC now trails 7-6 after a solo shot from Crater. Jump starts the inning. And that pitch is in there for strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. This one misses up, makes it a 2-1 count.
And we've seen Mahler be effective with the bat earlier in this game. He had a big double earlier. Now would be a good time for him to get another hit and just keep the Cougar rally going.
That one clips the outside corner, makes it a 2-2 count. This one swung on, sent foul from Mahler, keeping his fight alive here.
Mahler does a great job at just guarding the plate and making sure that if you want to strike him out, you're going to really have to work for it. You're having to get some fireballs past his bat.
His song delivers this one. Swung on from Mahler. That's popped up high and shallow into the outfield. Stogowski coming in and tracking it. He's able to glove it for out number 2, and that's going to put Yashawn Boswell at the plate for the Cougars, operating now with 2 outs.
Boswell's been good with the bats for the Cougars today. Now they just need him to come up and keep doing what he's been doing, get a good hit, get on base, and keep the Cougars alive here in the 7th.
2 down here in the 7th. His song sends this one outside for ball 1. Will Hassong for the Regents this season, 2.84 ERA. He's got 13 appearances. This makes 14 on the season. 7 saves, the most of any Regent, an effective relief pitcher for Rockford. As Boswell sends that one up the middle. The diving attempt. Can the throw get there in time? It does. A great play from Zach Duke to get the Regents out of the inning. But the Cougars are going to strike back and put 1 up on the board with some momentum from Tyler Crater. But we're going to head to the top of the 8th. Rockford still on top, 7-6 here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Cougar fans, I'm Jeff.
I'm Ben.
We hope you're enjoying today's CUC baseball broadcast.
If you're interested in donating to our athletic communications department to help improve this live stream, click the thank button below.
We appreciate your support and hope to see you at the field soon.
Hi, Dorsh's mom.
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the 8th. Kobe Cooper leading things off for the Regents. Rockford on top 7-6 after a monster top of the 7th. Put 4 runs up to steal the lead back from the Cougars. Elliott Higgins still dishing for CUC. That ball connected on and lifted into space. Shallow right field for Cooper. And that's going to be a lead-off single for the Regents.
Now that hit by Cooper was just over the head of Yashawn Boswell, who tried to give chase, but it was just hit a little bit too far for him to reach. So now the Regents already have 1 on with nobody out.
That's going to bring Zach Duke up to the plate for Rockford. Like you mentioned, no outs and a runner on first. Higgins getting set here. He sends this one in well inside, brushing Duke off the plate on the inside for ball 1.
Higgins came in to get the Cougars out of the 7th. Now just needs to focus on getting some outs in the 8th and hopefully get out of the inning with the Regent lead where it's at.
That ball misses for the 2-0 count now. Higgins sends this one in. That one's going to catch in there for strike number 1. Duke 1 for 3 at the plate here in game number 2. Had a big hit in his last at-bat that really jolted that Rockford run to life. As he sends a chopper up the middle. The toss over for 1. Not going to be able to turn 2. Zagerman wanted Boswell to turn 2, but instead they're just going to get that lead runner and put 1 away on the board. Duke now sitting comfortably at first, and that's going to bring the top of the order up for the Regents. Jake Bellotta now at the plate.
Yeah, going back to that Duke hit, it just kind of took a big bounce off the ground so that by the time Zagerman got the ball to Boswell didn't have time to make a throw to first.
Bellotta 3 for 4 here in game number 2. As umpires taking a quick second here. Higgins now resetting here on the mound. 1 out, runner on first. First pitch in there for strike number 1.
Nice first pitch by Higgins. Now they got 1 out to work with. Momentum a little bit more on the Cougar side following the bottom of the 7th.
This one swung on and missed for strike number 2.
Bellotta tried to take a big swing at that one, but just could not catch up to it.
Higgins trying to keep working here for the Cougars. Checks on Duke at first. Resets here. He sends this pitch in. Fouled off by Bellotta, keeping his at-bat alive.
2 strikes, Bellotta's just trying to defend the plate. Make sure that he doesn't watch strike 3 go by.
0-2 count here. 1 out, runner on first. Higgins resetting here. Pitch clock winding down, so Higgins resets here, gets everything situated. The 0-2 pitch coming in the dirt. That's going to get away from Mahler. That's going to give space for Duke.
And with that getting away from Mahler, that gets Duke to second, which means that there is now no easy double play ball for the Cougs.
Zagerman over at shortstop been favoring that flip over to second for Boswell versus making that throw across the field. So now losing that, you're not going to really hope that that ball is going to get played over to short. As it does, Zagerman can't cleanly field it. And that's going to allow runners to advance.
That ball just took an unfortunate bounce in front of Zagerman, went right off his arm and up. Boswell fielded it but wasn't able to make any kind of throw to first. And now the Regents have runners on the corners.
Head coach of the Cougars, Colin Connor, I believe questioning whether or not Duke got in the way there, potentially even bumping into Zagerman. And officials now going to confer up with it. Umpires still discussing. Home plate umpire here in game 2, Ben Gray. The field umpire, Patrick Weber, as they're still discussing this.
And if this ends up going the Cougars' way, this would be big. But doesn't look like it is going to go the Cougars' way. Call's going to stay the same, so the Regents still have runners on the corners.
And 1 out on the board. Runners on the corners. Stigowski now at the plate. Higgins checking on Bellata over at first.
We've seen the Cougars be successful with some pickoff attempts earlier in the game. Now would be a good time to get another one.
This one misses low for ball number 1. Regents back on top of CUC 7-6 after putting up 4 runs in the top half of the 7th. CUC trying to fight their way back, and Higgins doing his best on the mound to get there, but he delivers ball number 2.
Now Higgins just has to focus on the batter in front of him, focus on just getting 2 more outs to send this to the bottom of the 8th.
Runners on the corner bags. Higgins checking on Bellata. Safely back at first. Higgins delivers this one. Swung on and missed for strike number 1. Two one count now, 1 out. This one catches that inside corner for strike number 2. Higgins fighting his way back into this count.
Just a well-placed ball just in the top of the zone. Stigowski watched it go by thinking it was going to be a ball, but instead it just clipped the upper part and got this to a 2-2 count.
Higgins delivers. Catches in there for strike number 3. Elliott Higgins gets Stigowski down looking for out number 2.
And the look on Stigowski's face when he saw the call for strike 3, he knew he should have taken the bat off his shoulder to swing at it. But now Elliott Higgins got the 2 outs for the Cougs. Just need to get 1 more to escape the inning with no more damage done.
That's going to put Bergstrom at the plate for the Regents, trying to get a 2-out rally going here for Rockford. The Regents trying to extend their lead a little bit here. Higgins checking over on Bellata at first. Higgins trying to get the Cougars out of this inning. Give the offense a chance to fight back. This one right down the middle for strike number 1.
Nice first pitch to Bergstrom by Higgins. Now just needs to throw a few more just like it.
0-1 count here. Higgins delivers this one. That's fouled off from Bergstrom. Makes it the 0-2 count.
Higgins just needing to get 1 more strike now to make it so that the Regents do no damage in the top of the 8th.
Oh, 2 count, 2 outs, runners on the corners. Higgins gets set here. He delivers. That ball's chopped over, foul along the third base line. Higgins gets set here. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on for strike 3, and the Cougs get out of the inning. Elliott Higgins is fired up, and so are the Cougars, heading to the bottom of the 8th, trailing by 1. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the 8th, Cam Buckley leading things off for CUC. Will Hassong still on the mound for the Regents, and he delivers strike number 1 to Buckley.
Hassong pitched well in the last inning for the Regents, although he did give up a solo home run.
As that pitch misses for ball number 1. Yeah, you mentioned it, the solo home run from Tyler Crater. Really just a mood booster for the Cougars after the Regents put up 4 runs in the top half of the 7th. And it was the only run the Cougars scored in the bottom of the 7th, but being a solo home run, it just kind of picks that mood up a little bit, shifts that momentum just a touch, and makes this a 1-run game. As that ball misses for ball 2. Sewell thought that was strike number 3. Buckley not so sure on it. So now the 2-2 count here as Hassong delivers this one. Misses low for ball 3, fills this count.
Good eyes by Buckley to watch those last 2 pitches go by a little bit high and low respectively.
The 3-2 count here delivered. Swung on, sent foul.
That was a hard hit foul ball by Buckley. Just needs to straighten out a little bit to get on base, hopefully.
This one, chopping foul. That's going to stay foul. Three-two count here for Buckley.
Been able to make contact, just needs to get the timing right.
Hassong delivers this one. Inside for ball 4. Buckley staying aggressive at the plate, and that's going to send things over to Xavier Zagerman.
And now the Cougars have the tying run on the base paths. Just need Zagerman to do some work with his bat and get a good hit to move him around.
No outs, runner on first. Zagerman at the plate here trying to get something going. This one misses upstairs for ball number 1. Game-tying run on base. Go-ahead run at the plate for the Cougars. Hassong sends this one connected on by Zagerman. That ball's got some power to it, but backing underneath it is Burden. Buckley already halfway to second, so that's not going to give an opportunity to tag up, and that's going to put Eli Hickman at the plate now.
Center fielder,
Hickman's been good at getting on base, but this is one of those times when they need him to get not just on base, but to get a good hit here to hopefully help kickstart this Cougar comeback.
Hickman 0 for 2 at the plate here in game 2. He lets that one go by for ball 1. A back-and-forth game here in game number 2, something that we saw a little bit different from game 1 against the Regents. In game 1, Rockford came out with firing on all cylinders, taking an early 6-0 lead after back-to-back 3-run innings, started the game off. Cougars able to bring it within 1 run, but the Regents just pulling away and taking a monster 17-8 victory in game 1. And here in game 2, it's been a little bit different, Eric. It's been a slow and steady back-and-forth game. The highest scoring inning came with the Regents in the top of the 7th with 4 runs. As Hickman pops this one up once again, Buckley not opting for the tag, and for a good reason. The Regents colliding in the outfield. A diving attempt from Stigowski and Fabus, and I believe it's Stigowski that's still down on the field. Not a favorable, it's Fabus that was still down. A very, very scary opportunity there, but that is going to result in Hickman getting on. It was a tough placed ball for the Regents to try to get to, almost just a little bit of a danger zone out there that just resulted in 3 different Regents all trying to track in at the same spot, and just a bit of a collision that is not what you want to see, but it did allow for 2 runners to be on for CUC in the top of the order, as that wild pitch is going to go past and let Buckley and Hickman make their way to their next bases with ease.
And not a good sequence with those back-to-back pitches, if you're the Regents, you have the big pop fly hit that just ends up with no one calling it and being a meeting of the minds between the outfielders, and then you have the wild pitch there. Now Cougars have the go-ahead run on second.
As that ball misses up for ball 2. The 2-0 pitch right down the middle makes it 2-1.
Dorsch hasn't had as good a day as he typically has in the batter's box, so you know he'd love to get a good hit here to give the Cougs back the lead and kind of make up for it.
This one connected on. It's fouled off, staying in fair play, and easily grabbed by Bergstrom right at the fence line. So that's going to do it for Tyler Dorsch here in this inning, but CUC still operating with 1 out, and that's going to put Michael Kasick at the plate to try to get things going with a 2-out rally.
First baseman number 10.
Yeah, it's going to be up to Kasick. He's got the 2 runners in scoring position. The tying run just 90 feet away. It's up to him to hit the ball in play and give this tie it up and potentially give the league back to the Cougars.
Well, the Regents are going to take a quick mound visit to try to resettle some things. Not any movement in the Regent bullpen, so we can imagine that Hassan is going to continue to pitch for Rockford. Just a little bit of a reassurance here from the Regent coaching staff, just trying to make sure that the Regents can stay fighting here. They've got 2 outs. They've got runners in scoring position, but they've been in this position before. They've been able to hold the Cougars off, and Bob Koopman in his 19th season as the head coach at Rockford, just wanting to take this time to reassure everybody that they know what they're doing. They've been in this position before, and they're in the favorable spot to hold the Cougars where they're at.
Yeah, Hassan's got 2 outs. He just needs to focus on getting a third one and get the Regents out with no damage done.
And the words of encouragement are done well because the first pitch delivered to Kasick is a strike. On the flip side of things, Michael Kasick trying to keep the Cougars alive here. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. CUC trails by 1. So a base hit here ties the game up potentially even gives that go-ahead run, but realistically just trying not to waste opportunities as the clock is ticking down here in the game as Kasick sends a slow roller over. And the throw is going to be in time and get the Regents out of the inning. So not what you want from the Cougars, but for the Regents, a great way to get out of the inning. But CUC heading to the top of the 9th, trailing by 1. And it's going to be a battle of the arms here as CUC looking to stay alive. Elliot Higgins still on the mound for the Cougs. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, CUC trails by 1, top of the 9th. Regents in a favorable spot here. Higgins dishing for the Cougars, and Fabus at the plate. He takes a partial swing at that pitch for strike number 1.
Fabus was one half of a little bit of a collision in the outfield in the top half or in the bottom of the last inning, so now he seems to have shaken it off and is up to bat.
Fabus shows bunt, pulls back, lets it go by for ball one. That levels the count at 1 apiece. CUC needing to minimize the Regents' offensive power here. Rockford hoping to add a couple insurance runs in this inning, but Fabus swinging through that one makes it a 1-2 count.
Yeah, if you're Rockford, you're definitely looking to add at least one insurance run, because with a 1-run lead, that means that every batter that walks up to the plate represents the tying run.
Higgins kicks this one in. That's connected on. It's lifted into the outfield. Coming in and underneath it is Dorsch, but he's going to let that bounce in front of him for a base hit. And that's going to put a runner on for the Regents and hand things over to Burden.
Good start to the inning for the Regents. One of your best hitters comes up, gets on base, and so you have no outs, and now you got Burden coming up with the opportunity to make some contact and move Fabus around a little bit.
No outs, runner on first. Higgins delivers this one. That's a chopper up the middle. A great opportunity for the Cougars. A great turn for double play from Zagerman. Zagerman scooping that himself and tagging the base with 1 foot as he makes the throw to Michael Kasich. Holy smokes, Xavier Zagerman.
Zagerman ran up to that ground ball and thought, I'll just do this one myself. Steps on the bag, throws it to Kasich, and just like that, removes the base runner, and the Cougars all of a sudden have 2 quick outs.
That's exactly what Zagerman's been looking for all day. Finally getting there, and Higgins sends this first pitch into Mace for strike number 1. Oh, 1 count here, 2 outs, nobody on. This one swung on and missed from Mace, makes it a quick 0-2 count in favor of Higgins.
Higgins now just looking to get one more fastball past Mace, send us to the bottom of the 9th, where hopefully the Cougars can pull off a Cougar comeback.
Higgins gets set here. This one misses up and in for ball 1. One, 2 count, 2 outs. Higgins sends this one in there for strike 3. Elliott Higgins gets the Cougars out of the inning, sends things to the Cougar offense. CUC trails by 1 as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Eric, what an inning for the Cougars. A big-time double play from Zagerman paired with a big-time strikeout from Higgins to get the Cougars out of the inning and put another 0 up for the Regents.
Yeah, it started off rocky. The Regents immediately got one on base with no outs, but then Zagerman stepped up. He made the great play. He fielded the ball second, got the ball to first, and then Higgins came in with a beautiful strikeout in just 4 pitches, got the batter looking, and now, like you said, it's going to be up to the Cougar bats. They just need to get 1 across to force extra innings, or if they want, they can get 2 across and just call it a day here in the bottom of the 9th.
And still dishing for the Regents is going to be Will Hassong. He's trying to get the Regents out of this game, still on top by 1. He's thrown 35 pitches on the day so far, but leading things off for the Cougars is a favorable part of the batting order. You've got Jake Mahler due up, you've got Tyler Crater due up, and you've got Brandon Mahler due up. And let's not forget Tyler Crater, responsible for the solo home run in the bottom of the 7th to kind of combat that big inning from the Regents. So this is a good chunk of the Cougar offense that you want up right now.
Yeah, when you're up by 2 or you're up by 3, a solo home run, it's not a big deal. It just kind of cuts in your lead. Now, when you're up by just 1, a solo home run ties this game and brings the winning run to the plate. So Hassong needs to be careful with his pitches here because this is a deadly part of the Cougars lineup.
Like you said, Eric, being careful here with his pitches because the Cougar lineup in these next 3 batters are pretty lethal, but with that comes experience as these Cougar hitters are going to be selective. They're going to force Hassong to pitch right down the middle and right where they want it. They're not going to chase. They're not going to give him any extra pitches as that one misses outside and makes this a 1-1 count.
Now that they've seen him pitch the last 2 innings, they know what he throws. They know what he can do.
This one connected on. It's the chopper up the middle. Mace able to get over an off-balance throw And Mahler's going to be safe.
And a great play by Mahler, just hustled the moment that ball went off his bat. Mace kind of stumbled a little bit when fielding the throw, and just like that, Cougars got the tying run on first, which means now they have the winning run at the plate.
Josiah King comes in to pinch run for Mahler over at first. And Tyler Crater at the plate for CUC. We saw Josiah King come in to pinch run in game 1, trying to get a little bit more speed on the base paths for the Cougars. As umpires get set here. And Crater, like we said, Crater responsible for that solo home run in his last at-bat. A base hit here from Crater, just moving things around. Still no outs on the board.
Or if Crater wants, he can do what he did last at-bat, hit a home run. So this time it'd be a 2-run homer, and that would be the day for the Cougs.
As this ball is connected on, this ball's lifted. It's into shallow outfield, excuse me. Josiah King not going to tag up, and that's going to put the first out up on the board. Had some promise coming off the bat, just no juice once it left.
Yeah, it looked good for a moment, but then just did not have the carry that it needed to get out. Left fielder was able to make the catch and now bring up Brandon Mahler, brought Mahler to try to bring Jake Mahler around.
As Brandon Mahler at the plate now trying to get something going. 1 out, tying run over on first. Hassan sends that one. It's going to miss for ball 1. One 0 count, 1 out. Runner over on first. King got his song on that jump. And they're going to try to argue for a balk here. Coach Colin Connor coming out. He's unhappy with it.
Yeah, he wants the balk call because if he gets it, that would move Jake Mahler to second base and put the tying run in scoring position.
Eric, I think I agree with Coach Connor here because the way that Hassan moved off of that mound, he didn't disengage before he tried to just turn, and I think Josiah King might have faked him out a little bit on that. And that's going to miss low, make this a 2-0 count. This one swung on by Mahler, fouled off along the third base line.
And looking at the outfield, there is a gap over the head of the third baseman, so if Brandon Mahler can get it over the third baseman's head, that could definitely move Jake Mahler to at least third base, potentially.
2-1 count here. That ball's in the dirt. Makes this a 3-1 count. Mahler staying aggressive here. This one misses away for ball 4. That's going to move the runners around, and that's going to bring Yashawn Boswell to the plate.
And now with that walk, not only do you have the tying run at second base, you have the game-winning run on first, and yet Yashawn Boswell coming up. He's got a few big hits today. If he can get another one, if he can get another good hit, that can definitely bring Josiah King around to score.
Boswell now at the plate for CUC. He's 1 for 3 here in game number 2. This one swung on, sent through the 6-hole. Josiah King, he's going to round. He's heading home. The throw, not in time. Cougars tie it up in the bottom of the 9th with a big-time hit from Yashawn Boswell.
Yashawn Boswell came up to the plate and he's like, you know what? First pitch I see, I'm hitting. And he liked the first pitch he saw. It wasn't a great big hit, but it was enough. Josiah King came in as the pinch runner. He's got the wheels. He came around, didn't even force a throw to home. And now the Cougars have the winning run standing on second base.
And we are going to see a pinch runner here for Brandon Mahler over at second. That's going to be number 26, Ben Teachin, coming in to run for the Cougars. He's the game-winning run here. Cam Buckley at the plate.
If you're the Cougs, you want as much speed on the base paths as possible. Buckley can put the ball into play, and if he does, Teachin's going to do his best to win it for the Cougs.
This ball misses outside for ball 1.
And again, there's that big gap between short and third. If he can place one here, that might be the game.
This pitch connected on a slow roller over. As long as they don't turn 2, they're going to say Boswell was safe. They did not tag Boswell, but they did get Buckley out at first. So that is going to be out number 2, but runners on second and third safe.
Yeah, that was a good play by Boswell to just get out of the way of the tag. And now you have the winning run 90 feet away, but with 2 outs on the board.
And that's going to bring Xavier Zagerman to the plate for the Cougars. 2 outs. The game-winning run over on third base. Teaching a quick runner for the Cougars. You can imagine if any ball gets past Sewell, he's going to take his best attempt at getting home. As Zagerman swings on that one, misses for strike 1.
Zagerman had the nice double play in the top of the inning. Now just needs the big hit here to win it.
This one connected on, dropping just foul. Had that ball been fair, it would have been a easy jog for Teachin to get home, but dropping just foul along the third base line is going to keep the Regents fighting here.
Off the bat, it looked good for a moment, but just unfortunately hooked foul.
As we are going to see a pinch hitter on deck for the Cougars should we get there. As this one is going to hit Teachin. If they're going to say he was fair territory, that will be an out. They're going to say that Teachin was in foul territory, which is going to keep this at-bat alive. A very fortunate situation for the Cougars.
Yeah, it looked like the right call to me. It looked like Teachin was in foul territory, but nevertheless, a very lucky break for the Cougars. Now it's Zagerman's got to make contact again.
0-2 count, 2 outs here. Hassan trying to force extra innings. He sends this pitch in. Misses that outside corner. The Regents wanted that strike 3 call, but that's going to make it a 1-2 for Zagerman. Hassan delivers this one. Swung on and missed from Zagerman. That's going to force extra innings. We're going to head to the top of the 10th, all tied up at 7 apiece. CUC still fighting. We're going to see a new arm coming in for the Cougars. We'll have all of that for you when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, extra innings in River Forest. If it wasn't a long enough day of baseball, we're going to make it a little bit longer here as we officially hit the top of the 10th. The leadoff hit from Sewell, gloved by Zagerman. The throw in the dirt can't be scooped by Kasich, so that's going to be a safe base, and it's going to go out of play with the bad throw from Zagerman. And that's going to immediately put a runner on second. We're going to see a pinch runner for the Regents. Coming in to run for the Regents is number 9, Enrique Melendez. Saw him in game 1 playing in right field. Now he's making, now he's running for the Regents. And that's going to bring Kobe Cooper up to the plate.
Zagerman had the nice double play in the top of the 9th, but then the error there. So Zagerman giveth and Zagerman taketh away, unfortunately.
Linko sends that one in for ball 1. Linko, an arm that we already saw today. We saw him pitch 2 innings in game 1. They were 2 effective innings for the Cougars. He faced 7 batters and only threw 13 pitches, gave up no runs, only gave up 1 hit. So an effective reliever for CUC, and he delivered that one in there for strike 1 to make this a 1-1 count. Linko sends this one in. Showing bunt, that's going to bounce. It's going to end up going foul, so that's going to be the 1-2 count here for Cooper.
And that foul now, you would imagine, erases the bunt attempt for him. I mean, he's going to have to come up and swing away now.
One-two count in favor of Linko. Linko checking on Melendez at second. This one, line drive over to Boswell. Can they turn 2? They do! A big-time catch from Boswell. Flips it over to Zagerman, and Melendez didn't even have time to process that that ball was in the air. And the Cougars put 2 outs on the board.
Melendez barely had time to turn around and take a half step back to the bag before Boswell's throw beat in there. And for the second straight inning, the Regents get the opening batter on, but then the Cougars turn 2.
And that's going to bring Zach Duke up to the plate for the Regents. He's got to do some work here with 2 outs if he wants to continue to have the advantage here for the Regents, but Linko puts that one in there for strike number 1. Rockford really needs to put a run up in the top half of this inning if they want to make the Cougars work extra hard in the bottom half. CUC trying to keep the Regents scoreless here, so they've got all the control in the final, what could be the final half of the game. But Linko delivers that one for ball 1, makes this a 1-1 count. This one fouled off from Duke, makes it 1-2.
Yeah, the Regents really need to score 1 here, because if they don't, that means every Cougar batter that walks up to the plate will be the game-winning run. And we're heading towards the top of the lineup where we got some big hitters like Tyler Dorsch and Tyler Crater coming up to bat.
The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, kept in front by Owens. In the shift from the bottom of the 9th to the top of the 10th, Dom Owens coming in behind the plate to catch for Brandon Mahler after we saw a pinch runner coming in for Mahler. So this one connected on. That's lifted into foul territory heading towards the Cougar bullpen. Cougar players couldn't quite get there. You saw all the members of the Cougar bullpen just scattering, trying to make way for Dorsch and Kasich, trying to track that ball over, but nobody could quite get there in time. And that's going to keep this at a 2-2 count with 2 outs here for number 2.
Yeah, Dorsch tried to make a long run from right to the ball, but just wasn't able to get it. So now Linko's trying to get strike number 3 here.
The 2-2 count here. This one delivered upstairs for ball 3. Fills this count. Duke staying aggressive in his at-bat.
Linko trying to go upstairs a little bit on that one. Unfortunately, it just kind of soared on him.
The 3-2 count here. Linko can get out of the inning in 1 pitch. That ball's connected on. It's lifted into left field. That's going to get down in left field. Buckley's able to grab it, but that's going to be a single for Duke to start this 2-out rally for the Regents.
Yeah, with that, the Regents continue to stay alive. They continue to keep their chance of scoring at least 1 run here in the top of the 10th alive as well, as Bellata's now coming up to bat.
Jake Bellata, a big hitter for the Regents. He's 4 for 5 at the plate here in game number 2 as he lets that one go by for ball 1. In game 1, Bellata 2 for 6 at the plate, but he collected 3 RBIs and 3 runs and was responsible for a home run. So we've seen Bellata do big things for the Regents today, and the Cougars doing everything they can to not let him stay hot here in the top of the 10th.
Yeah, you do not want Bellata to get a big hit here if you're the Cougars. So if you're Linko, you're trying to just sneak some pitches by him, maybe get some pitches right on the edge of the zone that he just looks at.
The 1-0 pitch here. Misses, makes it 2-0. Runner over on first. 2 outs. Top of the 10th. Linko gets set here. He delivers this one in there for strike 1.
Nice pitch by Linko. Just dropped it right in there.
Two 2-1 count here. Sends this one in. That's popped foul out of play. Makes this a level 2-2 count.
And just like that, Linko's flipped this from being a 2-0 batter's count to being a 2-2 count. And he just needs one more strike to send us to the bottom of the 10th.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Linko delivers this one up and away for ball 3. Linko able to get the Cougars out of this inning in one pitch. Force play at second and first as that ball is fouled off. Duke taking off on the release, looking for that stolen base, but with the fouling it off, that's going to force him to make that trot back to first, and Linko still dishing on the mound, trying to get out of this inning. This one misses upstairs for ball 4. That's going to put runners on first and second for the Regents, and that's going to bring Joseph Stigowski to the plate for Rockford. 2 outs, runners on first and second. A tie game here in River Forest. If you're just now joining us here on the Cougar Sports Network, I'm sorry that you've missed such an exciting game, as it's been a back-and-forth battle between the Cougars and the Regents here in game number 2. We're all knotted up at 7 apiece, and that first pitch misses for ball 1. Stigowski checks his swing and lets it go by for the 1-0 count now. Linko checking on Duke, sends this pitch in, misses inside for ball number 2.
And now with the runner in scoring position, a solid base hit by Stigowski could give the Regents the lead back.
As this ball is fouled off, makes it a 2-1 count here.
Linko just needs to get 2 strikes past him.
A 2-1 pitch here from Linko. Catches that outside corner, makes it 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We've seen this before, and it resulted in the Regents staying aggressive at the plate, battling back and forcing a walk. So we can imagine that Stigowski's going to stay aggressive here. He's not going to chase. He's going to force Linko to pitch something good. And he does. Jack Linko gets the swinging strikeout. And the Cougars are going to the bottom of the 10th with momentum on their side and the possibility to walk this off. Jack Linko getting things going, holding the Regents scoreless in the top of the 10th.
Jack Linko came in. There was a nice double play that took care of the first 2, and then he got into some trouble, but he calmed down, he composed himself, and he pitched his way out of it. He got Stigowski down swinging, and now it's just going to be up to the Cougars' bats. They got to run in the bottom of the 9th. Now they just need to get one across in the bottom of the 10th to call it a day, to get another one in the win column, and end up splitting the day with the Regents.
And with that, we're going to see a new face behind the plate for the Regents in number 15, Bryce Stanton, coming in to close out this game for the Regents behind the plate. And on the flip side, we're going to see a pinch hitter for the Cougars Leading things off here is going to be number 72, Connor Jerkitis, batting in place of Eli Hickman. Jerkitis been coming in consistently for the Cougars to get some momentum and find his way on base. We saw him in game 1 come in, and he was able to force a walk that put a runner on base. And here in game 2, he's coming in and looking to get things rolling. In the bottom of the 10th, CUC has the opportunity to walk this off or force it to further innings. Holding the Regents scoreless in the top half of the inning really did just give Concordia all the power that they need. Everything is kind of in their control now. Whether they walk it off or force it to another inning, it's not giving the Regents the power to close it in this exact inning.
No, there's no way for the Regents to win it here in the bottom of the 10th, but there is a way for the Cougars to win it.
As this pitch misses inside, makes it a 1-1 count. Jerkitis on the season batting pretty well for the Cougars. Like I mentioned, he's been coming in these big moments. He swings and misses on that one. That was well and away. But either way, Jerkitis hitting .417 on the season, making his 12th appearance here in game number 2 of today's doubleheader. As Hassong still pitching for the Regents, he delivers that one well outside, levels this count at 2 apiece. Following Jerkitis is the top of the order for the Cougars. We've talked about it a lot today. That is a favorable spot, but Jerkitis is going to go down swinging. Not something that we usually see out of Connor Jerkitis, but that's going to put Tyler Dorsch at the plate and a 1 out on the board.
Yeah, Hassong was able to get Jerkitis swinging on some pitches that were a little bit outside, but like you said, now Dorsch coming up. His walk-up song's That's All, so he's trying to do that, just get a home run and call it a day.
As he lets that one go by for strike number 1. And yes, Eric, obviously a walk-off home run is the fairy tale scenario here in River Forest, but one hit at a time. Cougars just needing someone on base to jumpstart some things here in the bottom of the 10th. We're already in extra innings, so being able to just control the game and make Hassong pitch to Dorsch. That's the thing that we're going to be looking for here, is not giving anything extra as Dorsch lets that one go by for ball number 2, but just getting a base runner on and handing things over to the next guy. It's going to be key because this CUC lineup is filled with hitters.
Yeah, it's not just one batter that does all the damage for the Cougars. It is very spread out. They each have some power in their bats. They each can bring some people around to score.
3-1 count here for Dorsch. Hassong delivers this one. Low and away for ball 4. That's going to put the go-ahead run on first, and Michael Kasich at the plate for CUC.
Good eye by Dorsch to watch those balls go past. He's now standing on first. And like you said, now it's in the hands of Michael Kasich. It's up to him to get a good hit to move Dorsch around and potentially even score him from first.
And interesting here for the Regents, still nobody in the bullpen, so we're going to be riding Hassong out for the rest of this game, as that's a base hit up the middle, and the Regents looking to turn 2. They're going to be able to turn 2 and force yet another extra inning. A great play from the Regents, getting Dorsch and Kasich on it, and that's going to send things to the top of the 11th here in River Forest. Not enough Cougar baseball yet. We're going to more extra innings right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, defensive change for the Cougars. We see Kyle Connolly entering the game in center field in place of Eli Hickman, as Jack Linko still dishing on the mound for the Cougars. He sends that one in for ball one, but we saw Connor Jerkitis come in and pinch hit for Hickman in the bottom of the 10th, as that ball is sent with aggression. That's going to be an easy home run for Bergstrom. A solo shot from Bergstrom is going to put the Regents ahead by 1. A solo home run is exactly what you were looking for if you are the Regents. The go-ahead run in the top of the 11th. And that's not what you're looking for the Cougars, but Rockford taking the lead in the top of the 11th. A momentum booster here for the Regents.
Yeah, it looked to me that Linko was trying to cut it inside a little bit, but he just didn't get it inside enough, and Bergstrom just turned on it and smashed it over our left field fence.
That's Bergstrom's second home run of the day. We saw him send one out in game 1 of today's doubleheader and sends that one in game 2. And Linko trying to get to work here as he now sits with the 1-1 count for Fabus.
Yeah, Linko's just got to settle down now. He gave up the run, but now he's just got to focus on getting Fabus out and then focusing on the rest of the batting order.
As this one is connected on, hit deep into right field. Dorsch coming up and underneath it at the warning track. He's able to glove it for out number 1. That was a dangerous ball, not something that you want to see, especially after that last one had already exited the park here in the top of the 11th. So Dorsch able to rope that one in, and that's going to bring up Burden to the plate for the Regents, 1 away here. As this one catches in there for strike number 1. Something that we've been talking about in these extra innings, Eric, is the Cougars being able to hold the Regents scoreless in the top half, keeping that score level. It gives the Cougars a different type of power as they're able to basically control their own destiny in the bottom half of the inning. Either they're forcing yet another extra inning or they're able to walk it off. So now here, as we are now in a deficit here for the Cougars, now it's going to put that pressure on the Cougar hitters where come the bottom half of the inning, you're going to need to match what the Regents were able to do in the top half, or that's going to be a fair ball. The throw in time, a wacky bounce there, but Dom Owens able to get that to go. A very weird scenario there.
Yeah, like you said, it was a bit of an odd scenario with the ball going straight back and yet being fair, but Owens was still able to get the ball, get the throw to first for out number 2, but like you said, the Cougars now, they need to – it's not enough in the bottom of the inning to just go, okay, well, if we don't score here, we go to the top of the next one. You need to score in the bottom of the inning or the game's over.
As Linko still dishing here for the Cougars, doing his part, and he sends that first pitch in there for strike number 1. Mace at the plate for the Regents. He's 0 for 5 here in game 2. He lets that one go by quickly, the 0-2 count.
Now Linko just needs one more to send us to the bottom of the 11th with the Cougars trailing by 1.
Linko sends this one in. That's going to be bouncing in the dirt for ball 1. One-two count, 2 outs for Linko. This one misses up, makes it a 2-2 count.
Linko was good with his first 2 pitches. Now just has to focus on finding the zone and slipping them past the batter.
The delivery here, that's fouled off from Mace. Keeps this at a 2-2 count, excuse me.
Mace is now just trying to guard the plate, trying to find a way to get on base and put the Regents in a position where maybe they can stack on an insurance run or 2.
Linko delivers this one. That's going to be a slow roller in the infield. Zagerman coming up on it. He's not going to be able to glove it cleanly, and that's going to give a base to Mace.
And that's Zagerman's second error in the last 2 innings. He leads the Cougars in errors with 14. But now Linko's just got to compose himself and settle down and focus on getting one more out.
And that's going to bring Bryce Stanton to the plate for the first time today. Stanton came in the bottom half of the last inning behind the plate. Stanton, a sophomore from Jacksonville, North Carolina, making his first plate appearance of the day. He swings the first pitch he sees. That's going to take a hard bounce off of Crater. The throw not in time. And that's going to put runners on first and second.
And now not only does Linko have to settle down, but the Cougar defense has to settle down. They've allowed the Regents to get 2 quick runners on the base pass. Now they just need to focus on fielding balls cleanly and making good throws and just getting one more out.
That's going to put Cooper now at the plate for the Regents. Linko delivers that one in there for strike 1. Linko, 39 pitches thrown so far here in game number 2. This one misses outside for ball 1.
Linko trying to frame that outside edge of the zone. Just left it a little too much to the side, a little bit wide.
This one catches in there, makes this a 1-2 count. Linko one strike away, from getting out of this inning. We've seen him in a similar spot before, and the Regents have been able to capitalize on it. Linko trying to shut this inning down. Pitch clock winding down. He sends this one in. That's going to get past Owens and making the runners advance on it, but that's going to level it at 2 apiece.
Now for the Regents, you have 2 runners in scoring position, 2 insurance runs if you are able to bring them around. So for Linko, he's just got to focus on getting one more strike past Cooper and making it so the Cougars only have to make up 1 run in the bottom of the inning.
This one connected on. Kasich making the dive. He's going to knock it down. The throw not in time, and another run is going to score from it. A hard hit ball from Cooper. Kasich able to knock it down, prevent it from getting to the outfield, but just can't quite get the throw over in time. And that's going to force Coach Colin Connor to come out. I believe we might be seeing a pitching change for it, but the Regents go up by 2 in extra innings. We are going to see a pitching change, so while we get that all situated, we're going to take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the 11th. New arm on the bump for the Cougars is number 1, Blake Hickey, making his 4th appearance of the season. Jack Linko closing his time here in game number 2, but at the plate for the Regents is Duke, as that first pitch is in there for strike number 1.
Good.
Regents have runners on corner bases.
Good first pitch by Hickey. Owens behind the plate with a nice little frame, too, so just got to focus on getting 2 more strikes now.
Jack Linko, 1 2/3 innings pitched for the Cougars. 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. 11 batters faced, 44 total pitches thrown. Had some things shake out not in his favor and allowed the Regents to put 2 runs up here in the top of the 11th and go ahead in the game. And Hickey now sitting with the 2-1 count to Duke.
Yeah, the Regents looking to further increase their lead, trying to bring home the runner on third at least and add another insurance run.
As this one misses outside, makes it 3-1. Runners on first and third.
And now if you're Duke, you're knowing that a walk loads the bases, so Hickey's going to be making sure to throw something right in the zone.
And after Duke brings up the top of the order for the Regents, so not somewhere that you want to be if you're the Cougars, especially with a bases-loaded situation. So Hickey delivers that one down the middle for strike number 2 to fill this count. Cougars trying to do everything they can to not let this roll over to the top of the batting order for the Regents. Duke trying to stay aggressive at the plate. Hickey gets set here. He sends this pitch in there for strike number 3. Blake Hickey gets the Cougars out of the inning. A much-needed strikeout to prevent that bases-loaded situation from happening. And that's going to send things to the bottom of the 11th. Cougars need 2 runs to stay alive as we head to the bottom here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, now hitting for the Cougars is number 21, Josiah King. King making his first at-bat of the day. He takes that one in there for strike number 1. King came in as a pinch runner for the Cougars, and he's staying in to bat here as he lets that one go by for strike number 2. King making only his 4th appearance on the season, still chasing his first hit of the year. Hassan still dishing for the Regents. That one misses outside for ball 1. Key here for King is going to be staying aggressive at the plate, forcing Hassan to pitch here. Regents finally now starting to warm up an extra arm just in case, but King's going to lift that one into the outfield. Getting up and underneath it for the out is Burden, and that's going to put one away here. Crater now at the plate, needing to find some momentum. CUC trails by 2 runs in the bottom of the 11th. Crater trying to get something rolling here. He's 2 for 4 at the plate on the day. As that first pitch misses outside for ball 1.
Not only are the Cougars down by 2, but now they only have 2 outs to make them up as well.
This one misses outside, ball 2. Crater remaining aggressive at the plate. We saw Tyler Crater hit a solo home run earlier in the game to kind of bring the Cougars right back in, leave them only trailing by 1, that they were eventually able to level up and tie the game, but he's going to take that one for strike 1, makes this a 2-1 count. Hassan delivers this one. Crater's going to send this one up. It's deep and it's back, tracking against it all the way to the warning track for out number 2 is Stigowski, and that's going to bring Dom Owens up with only 1 out to operate.
And what doesn't help is the fact that since it's a 2-run game, Dom Owens does not represent the tying run for the Cougs. He needs to get on base because then the next batter would represent the tying run.
CUC operating with 2 outs. Dom Owens lets that one go by for ball 1. Like you mentioned, Eric, with 2 outs here, Owens needing to get on base to be able to give the Cougars a chance here. He lets that one go by for ball 2.
And Owens has been on a hot streak recently for the Cougs. We know he's got the big bat. He can really hit the ball. Just need him to do it now.
That one catches that inside corner for strike 1. Cougars 4 for 12 at the plate with 2 outs here in the game. So not the greatest statistic, but still shows that the Cougars are able to get things going. That's going to be a fair ball, gloved by Bergstrom, and that's going to do it. Bergstrom able to glove it and tag the base, and the Cougs are going to fall in 11 innings. The Regents doing a great job at coming back and finding some momentum there and taking the extra inning win over the Cougars and ultimately pulling the sweep. So an unfortunate end to a hard-fought game from the Cougars.
Yeah, the Cougars, this was really a back-and-forth game. The Cougars were trailing, and the Regents were trying. The Cougars were trying. Both teams did a good job of coming back, but in the end, the Regents were able to score the 2 in the top of the inning, and the Cougars weren't able to answer. And so, yeah, the Regents finally able to hold the Cougars off and win this 11-inning game.
Just a really unfortunate start or ending for this Cougar squad. Like you said, just a hard-fought battle, and it was so back and forth, and being able to see exactly what the CUC team is capable of in those key moments has been something that we've seen a lot this year. CUC has ultimately found a way to kind of overcome those deficits, and somehow here today just were unable to. The Regents, really, their bats came to life exactly when they needed it. In Game 1, they were able to find a lot of momentum, 4 home runs in the game, put up a much-needed home run here in this game, and in extra innings for the Regents to be able to put up 2 runs when it mattered most was exactly what they needed. And at the end of the day, the Regents just found the fire that the Cougars were not able to find and ultimately pulled the sweep over CUC.
Yeah, like you said, when it came to the clutch moments, the Regents were able to get those hits. They were able to either get the big home runs or just the death by 1,000 cuts infield singles that brought around that second run to score on the top of the inning. And the Cougars weren't able to. They just weren't able to get the big hits when they needed them to tie the game or even in the bottom of the 10th or 9th win it.
And so that's going to do it here from River Forest. A long day of baseball ends in heartbreak for the Cougars, but they're going to be back in action on Saturday right here in River Forest. It's going to be a Senior Day celebration for the 10 Cougar seniors. First pitch for the doubleheader against Lakeland slated for noon, but Senior Day festivities will begin at 10:45 right here at the Thunderdome. Can't make it in person. Coverage will also be available for that Senior Day celebration on the Cougar Sports Network. But signing off here from Game 2, wanting to give a huge shout out to everybody that made today's production possible. Doing in-stadium PA for us today was the CUC Hall of Famer Jim Egan, operating scoreboard and pitch clock for us, Jalen Franklin, running camera for us, Jacob Garrison. Production for us here in game number 2, Abby Kulig, and Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, Corey Welch. On the call with me today was Eric Perry. Eric, thank you for joining me here in game number 2. And signing off for the day, I'm Kayla McLeod. We'll see you next time as CUC takes the field on Saturday for Senior Day. We'll see you on the Cougar Sports Network.
So much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.